Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Pylon Show. This is episode number 83. I am Artosis, your host, and we have a spicy episode prepared for you here today. We're going to be talking about the Reddit drama that's been going on. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have, first off, Rifkin, what's going on?
I just been sick and off camera, and guys, we're talking before the show. We're gonna do a face reveal at 1 sub. Can we get Artosis 1 sub, guys, for a face reveal? It's been
Well,
2 months
you.
since I've been on camera, so coming here is kind of special.
Damn, yeah. You're showing your face for me. I love it. Well, thank you for doing that. Hopefully by the end of the show, we'll have a sub. And thank you for coming on.
It's a gift sub, not a sub.
Oh, 1 gifted sub.
Oh, that tryhard guy just got baited.
Lawyer,
so
dude,
hard.
he just got screwed because you lawyered him. I think 1 sub is fine.
No,
absolutely
it says
baited.
camera at 1 gifted sub. I do not enable that camera.
I want to go on the record, guys. This was not my deal. Okay, this is Cobra Venom. Send all your complaints to Cobra Venom at the Pylon Show.
That's right. There you go. Just tweet at the Pylon Show with all of your complaints.
No,
But you got a Twitch staff sub, dude. That's worth like 10.
what do you mean that's worth it? That's not, no. What?
Rifkin is toxic is the first thing he said.
Well.
Anyways, hi guys.
Oh, there you are. All right. Well, looking the same as you always look. Okay, cool. Nice to see you.
Can you hear him? I can't hear
Did
him.
Dan get muted?
Your
I think
mic.
I muted.
Okay.
Artosis, come back to us.
Fucking boomers can't control their own PCs. Shit breaking all over the place.
I see it going on and off too.
It's
I
always
can see
his
the
mic.
microphone flicking on and off.
He's unlucky with the microphone one.
Well, also on the
Hello?
Pylon Show.
Hello.
Hey, you're back.
I'm back now, right?
Yes.
Welcome.
Okay. This has been happening to my computer 3 times a day now, where just fucking all my microphone shit from my little knobby box turns off and then turns back on.
Little naughty box.
Yeah,
Is that
dude.
the technical term?
Yeah, the knobby box. It's the box with all the knobs on it that you plug your shit into so you can have a nice looking microphone like this one.
I know that. Boys.
Anyways, I don't know what's going on with it. I think I'm gonna have to reinstall my computer. That's the only way I know how to fix things. Okay. Anyways, I don't know where we're at, but nice username. Welcome back. How you doing?
Thank you. I am doing great. I'm doing great. So happy to be here as always. And I post on Reddit a lot, or at least I did for a time. So I have a lot to say about these feisty Reddit mods. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cool. And Katz, back once again. How are you?
Back once again. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm really good. I actually have like a little tiny bit of a cold, like a sore throat this morning. But
Oh no.
Some teeth.
That's how it
I'll be all
starts.
And of course, my brother nerd over here in South Korea, hiding from the coronavirus in his house. E-Mini, Gemini, how you doing?
What's up, mate? I'm good. Woke up, had breakfast. Here to talk about the spiciest thing that's happened to our sub in probably 3 weeks. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, probably a whole 3 weeks. And that will be great. We'll start talking about that very shortly here. But of course, first, I do want to let you guys know how you can support The Pylon Show. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/ThePylonShow. This is the greatest way to support the show. This is why the show exists and is still here and is funded. So thank you, everyone who does give their support. And of course, if you want to ask questions to kind of join in, we always answer all of the priority Patreon questions at the end of the show. You just go over to thepylonshow.com and click submit question if you are one of our Patreon members.
Have you ever
So
skipped a
definitely check that
question,
out.
Dan? Like a question that wasn't
no.
already answered.
Well,
Like,
actually,
I've
there was
seen-
like there's 1 or 2 questions every now and then where it was like, oh, this is for next week, when it was like some like serious drama stuff going on that I wasn't informed about. But I just pushed the questions at that point.
Sure. Okay. I know what you're talking
But
about now.
I don't think, yeah, you were on that show.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't think I've ever actually skipped a question.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. No,
I'm gonna
I
miss it.
I really do my best to give real answers to all the questions. But yeah, you guys can check that out. Of course, thepylonshow.com is where you can get all of your Pylon Show needs, the podcast links, the YouTube links, the show notes, absolutely everything. And then, of course, we have our Matcherino, matcherino.com/ThePylonShow. Log in there, type in our code. Our code this week is PI. PIE. Very easy. Very simple. It's only 3 letters.
That's
Go
the
and type
easiest
it in.
code. That's the easiest lesson.
It's probably the easiest one we've ever had.
It's pretty good. I like it. It's like easy
Yeah.
to remember. You don't have to associate it with like the calendar in any way.
It's Great
I-
American
doesn't
Pie
like pie?
Month, so that's why.
It's American Pie Month.
I got in on Match Arena early, so we got some of like the first coupon codes, and I remember one of our first coupon codes ever was just the number 1. Real simple.
That's
That's the way.
Type 1 in here and you can't get your chat to do it. It's like, oh, sick.
Son of a gun.
All right, guys, type in pie over there. And if you want any of the swag, go ahead. Please help yourselves. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, jump into this week in StarCraft. Of course, I will just be quickly going over everything. And if you want to learn more, just check out the show notes, which are connected to anywhere you're consuming the Pylon Show. All right, let's go ahead and jump down to page number 4, the ESL Open Cups. We just have a list there for you. These are probably going to be the easiest Open Cups because Katowice is going on. So definitely check those out if you want to compete. We also have the IM Katowice 2020 round of 76 qualifiers. We went over that last week in an episode. We won't really be talking about Katowice this week. Next week, we'll have a show going over it, though. So definitely check it out there. We have the round of 24 group announcement. Group A, Dark Parting Stats, Deer Special Haas. Big surprise there, really awesome. Group B, Rainer, Rogue Zest, Armani Sue Showtime. Group C, Elazer, Maru, Solar, Patience, Innovation Trap. And Group D, Cure, Cyril, TY, SOS, Lambo, and Hurricane. A ridiculous round of 24. Definitely check that out. Tomorrow, I think it goes live. Or maybe it's tonight.
Tonight.
On Twitter, when they put the groups out, Lambo was just like, damn it, when he got his group.
Not an easy.
Dude, I'm telling you, Trap made a big brain play there, not getting out first. He got the better group.
I
You
think
would say
Trap
that.
could actually beat everyone in that group, to be honest.
100%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll say that about any group. I could make a group and it's like 8 Cyrils
No,
and Trap.
Let's
and
be
pop
honest with you.
out
If
and you're like,
Cyril
yeah.
or some shit were in that thing, I'd be like, yeah, no, he's not going to win that match. But like that group, he's
He
going
was
to.
wild.
I think he's going to win everyone. I could see it.
In one of the
Some shit.
qualifiers that I cast, Trap actually like went like 10-0 or something versus like everyone except Parting, and then lost like to Parting 2 times back to back.
Yep.
So Trap's like actually so sick against everyone except Parting right now.
It's the top 3, right? Top 3 get out of the group.
Yeah, top 3 out of each group. You guys think Haas can make it out of here? There's
Let's
a lot
see.
of Protoss in that group.
I think because there's a lot of Protoss, he's got a chance.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know what his PvP actually looks like now, though. I haven't seen any of his PvP games, so
Next page, Cobra.
Cass,
But I feel like
there's
it's
no
just-
chance. Yeah. I don't know why we're talking about Cass. I
pretty
think
good.
Ben was trying to make a joke, and then everyone was like, "Yeah, Cass. Actually, let's discuss the episode."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the MAGA as well as. I mean, they're they're awesome people.
I mean, I
Oh.
saw a few Haas games that I liked.
Oh, Haas. I thought he was saying Cass.
No, Haas.
No.
Yeah, Haas.
Hey, Cobra. Apparently, I'm being pinged here that my camera's not on or something.
No, Haas maybe you can do it.
Oh yeah, it's not.
Yeah, I'm working on
Is that
it.
a my
Hold
thing
on.
or?
No, it's on my end.
We need more
Just hold
subs
up.
for it.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
thought
more
the whole
subs for
yeah.
this
One more
We didn't
gifted
get the
sub,
sub.
guys. Get Rifkin back. So you've already had like a hype train in this stream, by the way. It's going pretty well.
It's excellent.
We call it the scam train on my stream. So,
That's what everyone calls it. Let's be honest.
yeah. Well, Katowice, it's been going really well, and we'll talk more about that next week. This week is all about the drama, so let's get through this.
God
week.
damn it! I wanted to talk about Trap more.
You can go.
No.
This is just your
No,
shot,
yeah,
man.
okay, go,
What
go,
about
go.
her?
Shot,
Do we
man.
have
You
on
can
the
do
show?
it.
I'm kidding. Go.
Sort of semi-related to Katowice, but maybe more it's about drama. Are we going to be talking about that thing with Ragnarok at all today?
Yeah, we can bring it up.
Oh yeah, we should totally talk about that.
Mm.
That was totally.
So I guess we are talking about it.
Okay,
don't
well,
know
let's
what
just
happened.
talk about it right now.
I mean,
since we're on
don't you
Katowice.
think that's a big deal? You know
Well,
what
I didn't know if it
we're
was in the
talking
show
about,
notes
right?
or not.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken on what exactly went down, Ragnarok lost game 1.
But
It was in the middle of it.
It was during the
thermal.
game, right? But there was a pause in the game, and while paused, he had tabbed out and opened Twitch, and that's
Okay.
I just
Now,
sit
did he
here like
tab out and Twitch was already open, or did he tab out
No,
and
he
go to the
opened
Twitch
it.
channel?
You can see him click a few
It's all on
times.
camera, which is what's so
Yeah.
awkward about it.
Mhm.
But this topic to me is so wonderful because I've been reading for like 4 years. Everyone talking about the most insane, like Morse code through vibrations on your phone in your shoe. Like, no, he just opens Twitch. He just tabs out and does it.
Huh.
I mean,
Well, yeah.
I think it's interesting just because I think this is something that happens in the player area all the time, and no one's really said anything. This is the first time I probably shouldn't say that still.
Oh, you've seen it happen?
I mean,
Dude, Twitch streams are open like everywhere.
Go to a
Oh,
WCS
sure,
event
but not during your
in
match.
the open bracket.
I think
and like there's no one, like think about it, like at the WCS events in the open bracket, no one's walking around standing over the players.
No, but
every
there are
second.
people walking around. You know, it's not like it would.
I mean,
be
I
easy for
guess
anyone.
when I saw someone bring this up, at first I was like, oh shit, but at the same time, I was, I also had the thought this happens. I feel like I've seen it happen at events. Like people just switch to Switch all the time. It's pretty.
Right. I think it was more of a reflexive thing.
It seemed like.
Like, I didn't think he was like, I looked at that clip and I didn't immediately think cheating. I thought we all just habitually tab out and go, how many times have you reopened Twitter or reopened Reddit or Imgur or whatever?
That's what I'm saying is it seems to be this thing. Like people just use the computer sort of carelessly. No one really cares. And it's always been like that. And then someone noticed, holy shit, this guy just looked at Twitch in the middle of his match. And someone was like, hey, what the fuck? Like pay attention to this. And I feel like people really didn't until this happened. But yeah, it's not good. Like it doesn't look good at all. And hopefully they've said something about it. I haven't heard anything.
I've seen a lot of really like crazy, like he should be banned, like life and stuff. And I just don't agree with any. I think there should be punishment. I think there needs to be a standard set for sure, especially now it's been on camera. But like, I don't think the guy deserves like a lifetime ban or something. That seems so wild to me.
Well, if you read the rules, someone pointed out in Reddit, as it was not a low quality meme, I got to read it, and sorry, gotta get those.
It was a text post. That's the thing. Text posts never get removed.
Yeah. So, but apparently the rules say like a 5-year ban for something like that, but obviously that's madness. Like this doesn't seem malicious in any way.
Does it not seem
Ragnarok's actually just like a friendly kid. He's he makes content for even the foreign community.
He was just
he does
Pokemon stream probably.
I mean, friendly kids can definitely.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Does the StarCraft stream not show up? He just goes on Twitch. Generally, Twitch.
He goes on the StarCraft like browsed page or whatever, and IEM is like at the top left. Like he could see the thumbnail.
But he doesn't click on it.
I don't think you see him click on it now.
Oh,
you didn't see him click on it exactly. You just see the thumbnail of the stream, and then it cuts away from him.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you look at it,
you even click on it.
I wouldn't. If I was the ref or whatever, if I ran the show there, I wouldn't. I would just warn him and say, probably it's not something you should be doing, and that's it. But it was just interesting to me that people kind of started to make some noise about this. Like you were saying, people were kind of freaking out and saying like ban him for life and all this crazy shit.
I think something like you give him game loss right there and a warning is basically that's the right way to do it. You shouldn't really go beyond that, I think.
Yeah.
That's the interesting part of the debate because the other people are arguing, well, he lost anyways, so what does it matter? But the thing is, it does matter. It just, how much does it matter?
I mean, he didn't know that he was going to lose for sure, right? So when you assign him the loss, he's going to be sad.
Yeah.
Well, you got to show that it does mean something. I don't think he meant anything by it, but
yeah.
You don't want to see someone's like career end because they muscle memory into that. Like how many times do you pop your phone out of your pocket and look at it, right? It's the same. If you sit on your computer all day, it's like I'll be queuing up for a ladder game and just I look over and I'm like, oh, I'm looking at Twitter. How did that happen? It's like I didn't even have a window open. I got there so quickly, like one-handed, happens to everyone.
The habit to alt tab after a game is built into probably most people, I would assume.
Well, so Nate brought up a good point in that thread I saw earlier. And I think that partially this is kind of on the organizers to blame though, because they really should have had that set up. If this was a big concern, a chief concern that somebody might tab out and cheat, then the website should be blocked. As simple as that. Like,
yeah.
But all pro gamers, when they're not playing, watch the stream. Like I've seen it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They huddle
times
around like in the one computer area.
Yeah. Well, that's the Ragnarok drama. I guess we can probably move on from that for now, and we'll see what ESL comes down with, if anything, for him. Anyways, watch Katowice. It's going well. All right. We have the next page. Caster Muse Narok Star League Season 2. This is a tournament for players who are really good and almost qualified for ASL Season 9, but did not qualify with the 3 million won prize pool. A lot of really great high-end pro gamers are in there that did not make it, and a lot of up-and-coming pros as well. So check that out over on Caster Muse's Africa TV stream. We also have the ASL, Africa TV StarCraft League Season 9. So far, it's been a little bit of a Terran graveyard, but we have some of them getting through, and yeah, we got a couple more groups. It's on Sundays and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. KST, so check it out. All right, this week in StarCraft, there's Zombie Grub wearing pig's glasses, but pig's also wearing pig's glasses. I don't know how that works, but okay. ESL Cup Korea. Zest wins 3-0 over Dream. This was cast by Zombie Grub, Creighton Olsen, Chicken Man, Maddox, and Renegade X Studios. We also had Time and Cham getting into the top 4. The EU Cup, looks like we had, ESL Cup EU. Aquaron defeats Rodzin 3-2.
So you just
this is just like that's really that is not something I expected to read here for the ESL EU Cup.
Yeah.
Just
right.
Yeah, you're right.
About the Korea Cup too, that was kind of cool. Zest cheesed like most of his games. Like most games were legit like Forge openings or Cybercore into Forge. Like that was a weird thing to see, but I cast like every one of those games that it was all the way through to the finals. He kept doing it.
Oh, you casted that as well?
Mm.
Your name's not listed here,
I
Rifkin.
think one thing about
someone's out to get you.
one
Taking
thing
my
about
head,
ESL
Cobra.
Korean Cups, it seems like the least like Korean players don't seem to play much on them, you know?
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. That's bad.
Well, yeah, they interviewed Solar, right? I think Wax or whatever, and they brought that up briefly, and Solar just kind of said, I think that other people don't understand how important it is, so he's just taking advantage of it, and I say more power to him.
Well,
are they aware that they're going on? That you know, like
Oh, for sure,
There
because a
are-
lot of
yeah,
a
some
lot
of
of these
them are.
guys are like, if you see, for example, Dream sign up, you would always see Ryong and like Keen, and like there's always these groups of people sign up, and they're not signing up, or they do and they don't check in.
right. What I've noticed is that all the foreigner like Koreans are playing in these, like the Koreans that are really into the foreign scene, like Parting and Solar and all, you know. But the other Koreans, I don't know if anyone's been like, hey, you know, it's happening.
Yeah, some of the really top tier Koreans really just kind of stick
Well,
to GSL for the most part.
It's also the prize pool for the ESL Cups. Like the points are really important in my opinion, but the prizing is actually kind of weak. You've got like the Elite League doing 200 to 250 on average a week. The Kung Fu Cup's like 400. For them, it really isn't worth the extra time and grind.
Yeah, I mean,
At least that's
even the
what
points
I've
you would
gotten
have
from
to-
talking to them. I don't know much more than that.
Yeah, even the points, it's not that much, you know. But maybe over the long haul, I think if you win, like,
Well, I mean, if you have 52 tournaments or whatever, that's a hell of a lot of points that you can pick
Yeah,
up.
and
yeah, I
if
mean,
someone like
if you
Scarlet,
win all
you're
of, if
missing
you win
Katowice.
every ESL Cup across all 3 servers, then you can qualify for BlizzCon from it, probably.
That would actually be more impressive than winning a GSL.
oh, certainly. Yeah, what? Way
Well,
more.
I think it's
like
I think it's pretty important though when you consider people like Scarlet, who not going to Katowice has now missed out on a huge opportunity for points, but she's won almost every NA Cup. So she's going to come out of this not with like top points, but at least be keeping up with everybody and not feel so punished for missing one big event.
How many points does she have?
Probably 30 or 40 right now, I guess.
30 or 40. So that's like not very good, right? Like for winning.
well, the points were rebalanced for this year, so I'm not sure exactly what that means. Last year, 30 or 40 didn't feel that big, but then some of those cutoffs at the end were super close like that.
Like the first place for an EPT Cup now is, or not Cup, the actual tournament is 700 for first place. So you could take that into account.
700 for what?
For first place at one of the main cups or whatever tournaments.
What are the main cups? Main
Like
tournaments?
Katowice,
like the Dream
Katowice
Hacks.
is 700 only? Oh, okay.
No, the Dream Hacks. Katowice is the different, but like the normal Dream Hack ones.
Okay, I see.
700, like 17th to 24th is 70 points. Top 16 is 130 points.
Yeah, so it's like 10 points per ESL Cup, right?
Yeah.
That's not good enough. I think it should be like 30 or something. If like 24th in like, you know, one of the big tournaments gets that many points, like it's got to be worth it more.
I think I'm excited for it to be a tiebreaker thing, to be honest. Like I really wanted to see it come down to, is it a laser, is it Lambo that gets in? Well, Lambo played more cups throughout the year, so he's actually got that edge or something.
Yeah, but I mean, when we go by points, when are you gonna see tiebreakers? You're not really gonna. I don't think we've ever seen like a.
We've seen in Korea it's been very close a few times where people were getting in or out by like 50-point margins for BlizzCon. But I think that probably they'll readjust the points for next year if these don't seem like they were valuable at all. You know, if you analyze it at the end and you're like, oh, this didn't actually make a difference for anybody.
I think that
ESL tournament.
I think that ESL and Apollo are like flexible enough that right now even they could make an on the fly.
Oh, they adjusted it. Yeah, it was originally just 10 points, and after hearing feedback from 1 week, they immediately retroactively applied a second place prize.
That yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, Apollo's on top of it. So I think they should add points because Korea's just not play. That's bad. Like Koreans should have enough incentive to play.
Yeah, they just don't care. Like Parting wasn't signed up one time, and I was like, "Hey, are you playing in this?" And he's like, "No, I want to sleep." So,
do you think it takes away too much from the offline events? Because it feels like that's, you know, they're trying to emphasize the offline events.
I think it's fine. I think it's fine because it's a completely different atmosphere, and a lot more players are gonna play, and not every game is gonna be casted, and you know, it's like probably like not group stages, like little hype, it's. I think a lot of people care about the results of these caps as well, or like watching like the finals or like the semifinals, stuff like that, probably predominantly more. So I think it's fine. If anything, I think it builds up to the tournaments, like see who's going in strong and shit like that.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Well, congrats to Zest for cheesing your way through that tournament, and congrats to Acheron for winning this one. And as soon as I saw those two names, I'm like, this must just be no one was playing this week. But actually, the round of 4 had both Drogo and Lambo, so some real legit players in there as well. So congrats to them.
Yeah, big news for Acheron, who is a very young player as well. So he's not far off from, you know, from like Rainer and Goblin and Clem. Like he is from Spain. He is a very smart kid, and he was known to be extremely aggressive to the point where he was, you know, just like, oh, like it's so stupid to play against Acheron. And he always, you know, does the same thing. But then over the last like year and a half or so, or 2 years, he started working on his all, you know, a more rounded playstyle. So he's still very good at micro and very good at aggression. And right now he's peaking at like 6.5k or something like that. That's pretty fucking great.
Damn, that's really legit.
Yeah, so that's awesome because like your Acheron has been around since the start, but he is just coming to his own, and he's one of those players that is likely to make waves. Since this,
how young is he? I was surprised when you said he's young.
17.
I've seen his name around for at least a few years.
17 or 18.
Yeah.
That's young.
I thought he's been here since like Wings or whatever.
Yeah, he's been around.
He's 18. He's 18 now.
He must have started playing when he was like 12.
I mean, he's a Rainer contemporary by most accounts, you know. Like Rainer was GM when he was like 12 or 13, right? Acheron was probably like high masters then, but he was probably still playing. So now he's really like coming into his own. He's a good kid. He's a hard worker too. Like I've talked to him a lot on like mentality and approach, and like he's the kind of kid like goes out and like seeks advice and tries to improve. So I have no doubt he's gonna get there.
The NA Cup had a pretty cool result too. I don't know if we can talk about that.
Yeah, sure. Let's jump up to that. Very exciting stuff. And then Cham over Scarlet 3-2. Cham's been very active lately.
Yeah, the games are wild. It was a real back and forth series, like literally 1, then 1, then 1, then 1, all the way to 5. But I just want to point out that it's been cut off from what the graphic shows. But Canning lost to Villo. I just lost faith in America, dude.
I saw that tweet. I was
surprised, to be honest. I think Canning's a really good player, so that kind of shocked me.
Things can happen, you know. Medivacs show up somewhere you don't expect, or you move into his tank line too quickly. Who knows?
The thing with a Villo is that you just like you mind game yourself. Like you go into it thinking that you're gonna do a certain thing because he does a certain thing, and then you over account for it, and then that makes you lose because then you're now uncomfortable instead of just playing a normal thing. So it's like, then if it's a tournament, then that also just like gets in your mind, like, and you're just like, oh shit, is this really happening?
I don't know what shape Avidoger is in, but not too long ago he was at his best also. Like something like 5,700 is the highest I saw him. That's, you know, if he's at 5,700, then it wouldn't be unreasonable for him to take games from Mcanning, who should be a little higher than that. I imagine 6K. I imagine Mcanning must peak around like 6.1, right? Or 6.2. I don't know.
Yeah, that's usually what he'd be at.
Well, congrats then both to Cham and Avilo. All right, moving forward. Kung Fu Cup 2019, parting 3-0 over Rogue in that finals. Innovation and Deer in the top 4. Oh my God, just look at this bracket.
Parting is killing people, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
No, seriously, beats Innovation as well. He beats Dream in there. Takes
Innovation
on Chance.
and Rogue.
Jeez. Yeah.
He must be playing really well. I don't watch his stream
like every
too
good
much.
He's
so.
I got to talk to him a little bit after he won one of these because we like stream interviewed him. And I asked him, like, okay, I see you playing a bunch of cheese games because he's doing a lot of those stupid proxy shield batteries and stuff. And I'm like, are you doing this because it works or because you got secret builds for IEM? And he swears he has secret builds for IEM, but this just works easier, he said, or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know his mindset. He's a wild player, dude. I love farting.
His micro is amazing. So when he goes for the aggressive, you know, cheese builds, it doesn't surprise me. But he's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool that he's. I always love to see him do well.
It's probably the
big
most
victory.
successful comeback that we've ever had, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct on that one. Well, this was cast by Wardy and Creighton Olsen, so you can check out the VODs on their channels. We also have the Alpha X Junior Championship Season 3. Young Yakov took down Ghosty 4-1. Of course, this is a tournament for 15-year-old and under players who have never reached 6K MMR, so definitely some very up-and-coming players. This guy was 15 who ended up winning. You can check all this stuff over on Alpha X's channel. So Battle of the Americas, Pure Legacy over, or Cham over Pure Legacy, 3-0 in that finals. Cham really, really active right now. He's been on every tournament, top 4 so far that we've gone through, it seems.
Yeah, Cham's doing really well right now.
Yeah. You can check out that VOD over on Cranky Ducklings stream. All right, the Grand Platypus Open, also on Cranky Ducklings. We had Miomeka over Gogo Joey in the finals there. Beastork and Vivid getting in the top 4 as well. Congrats to Miomeka. The Aodai Weekly, Upley over Thul Clow. Justice Simon, where are you? There you are. Ah, he lost to Thul Clow. And it's normally him versus Upley in the finals of these, but congrats to Upley for another victory.
No Terran players in there.
No, I
Get to
guess
Reddit.
not.
That's allowed. That's
Yeah.
not gonna...
Oh, what could it mean?
Like how
Anyways,
you're
go
becoming
ahead.
like familiar with
Oh,
the power levels here, Dan. You know, like
Yeah.
like you would have stuff to say about the players if they were to play in a bigger tournament. Oh, Apley versus 2 o'clock. I know how this goes.
Well, I have a little bit to say. Like, I know that they win the Aodai Weekly all the time, and
Yeah.
I know that Justice Simon looks like a boy band member. Yeah. Well, Red Gunner Guy looks like he's going to be casting this probably in the future, so check that out.
The next
we also
panel's
have the-
even worse for Terran, dude. Oh my god.
Oh,
Passion Craft Sunday Showdown coming up next. It's Bassett over Eric 3-1 in the finals. Congrats to Bassett for that victory. This is on every Sunday at 6 CET in cooperation with OSC. So you can go play it if you'd like. €250 on the line.
That's
The Shirshati Open. We had Puck over Namshar in the finals, and Parting actually being taken out. Chance getting the top 4 as well. All right. Congratulations there to Nina.
Yeah, really.
You can check that
really
out,
good
of
result
course.
for her.
Yeah, very good result. And we see our pizza boy died too, Star Killer, only making top 8. Damn.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to seeing if he won another pizza this week. All right, you can check that out, of course, over on Shirshati's Twitch channel. Legacy Weekly Japan. Nishino Nanase. 2-0 over Kaiman 3. If you live in Japan and you want to play some StarCraft 2, check it out. ProBots 2020 Season 1. The group stages have begun. The Harvester, a reinforcement learning bot, tries to go mass slings against Gen Z bot. There's all sorts of different ones. Strelok tries to go BC Rush against Creepybot. What is Strelok playing this? What is going on? That's so weird.
That's interesting.
Strelok, that's a
Maybe there's a bot called
name.
Strelok, and maybe Strelok programs bots now. He was always a smart guy. It would make sense, I guess. I don't know. But check it all out over on eschamp.com. Epic Land 29. We had Risky did go back to play in Epic Land, and looks like he has won it once again over Razorblader in the finals, 4-2. That gives him 9 Epic Land titles. Pretty strong. Congrats to Risky. All right, the CEA, Corporate Esports Association. They have all these amazing companies getting together and making their StarCraft 2 teams playing against each other. You can check it all out at cea.gg. They also have the Collegiate Series Spring 2020, February 29th, which is like 2 days away, is their last day to register and the first day of matches. So if you would like to try to win some college money, definitely check this out. Again, cea.gg. It'll be on Fear Dragon's channel. We have Liga Cubana de StarCraft 2. Event number 8 will be played this upcoming Friday. Cuban citizens and residents can sign up at Challenge. Check it out.
Wait, there's 2 Facebook teams, and one is Facebook Zuckerberg and stuff on the previous one. Pretty funny.
Probably, yeah. I think
There's a
some of
team
these
named
companies have a
Alexa
lot of
Software.
StarCraft fans.
That's great.
All right. TL.net map contest 14. After 163 entries for the TLNet map contest 14, we've selected our finalists for the upcoming map contest tournament and subsequent judging phase. Public voting ends March 1st. So that is really, really soon. Guys, get over there and take a look-see. This is important because you're going to be playing it on the ladder and you're going to be watching it in tournaments as well.
Please vote. Please go vote. This is actually a huge deal because this is how the ladder maps get picked. I just want to like re-emphasize that. Also, the votes. Wait, hold up. The votes got reset. Something happened where they did it like in a Google Docs form, and they usually don't, or something. Something happened. They reset the votes. All the votes from the last whatever don't count. So we extra need you to go vote. Seriously, because I want good maps to play on, not just randomly picks.
Yeah, no more Zens, please.
Yeah, like these
was very
only
pretty.
get a couple hundred or not even 1,000
Well, I
votes
like
per
Zen.
map. So
You
it's kind of crazy
know,
how low the voting is, I think.
You know what's kind of crazy is when I hear people say like, "Please go vote" and stuff. I'm like, nah, like because I don't really care about politics. But
Oh,
then
with
I'm
maps.
very inclined to be like, "Please go vote, guys. This shit's important."
Yeah,
you know?
vote on your maps.
Yeah,
like
this is really important. You think the president's important? No. Let me tell you about the ladder maps.
I mean, you think about it, you only see the president like on TV once a week or something, right? Like you're doing this every day, 10 times a day. Like,
Oh,
Yeah, this is
man.
actually
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
You just made me look at my life a
So
lot right
please
there.
fucking go vote.
yeah, I'm gonna ask some
I
questions.
really don't care about my president, but I do care about my maps.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Mappers Delight number 2. Organized by Creighton Olson. March 21st. It is a tournament designed to display the creativity and ingenuity of the StarCraft 2 map-making scene. They submit their most unusual and creative map designs, out of which 7 winners will be selected. Excellent. All right. So definitely check that out. It's on channel Mappers Delight. All right. Swagger Cup number 2 from Jordan Moss at Swag Syndrome _. This tournament is open to diamond and above players. You must be diamond or above. First place is $100. Second place, $50. So check it out. That's going to be on March 7th. It doesn't say what server, but if you want to play in the tournament, go check it out and you'll figure that out. Base Trade TV February goals. Why don't you tell us about this, Rifkin?
Oh, well, we got 2 events happening. They're happening no matter what. The only thing we're fundraising for is to make them bigger and better. So one of them is some people might have seen our holdout challenge with Neeb. Well, we're going to do a holdout challenge with Rainer. Basically, Rainer's going to kill a bunch of people, and we're seeing who can last the longest type thing. The last 2 with Neeb went really well, so I had to reach out to Rainer and buy a couple of hours of his time, and he said he's down after Katowice, so we'll have some slaughterhouse over there. And then we got a 2v2 tournament. Honestly, the only thing I really want to talk about for this is Matcherino actually gave us like $200 in codes. And the coupon code is so long that they had to create a new thing for it. And they got kind of mad at me. So I'd really appreciate if you guys would use the coupon code for our Matcherino. It is free money for Beastie and Max packs. All one word.
That's amazing. What a great code. I'm sure you'll get a lot of people to type that in.
So yeah, this thing, I haven't mentioned this on stream, not once. I haven't actually done anything with it promotion wise. It's already got $800 in it. People really want like a month of 2v2 tournaments. So that's what we're funding for. That's going to be a big fun thing.
Yeah,
Max
2
packs
2 seems to be popular right now.
The Max Pack storyline is one of my favorite in SE2.
It's wild.
Out of nowhere. His build gets used in GSL, and now he's going around winning 2v2 tournaments with BC. Came out of nowhere. This guy's a legend. Oh, that's all.
Yeah,
the thing is, it's like Beastie, right? Played him and saw the build and was like, "This is great content." And he's like, here. And then he showed the world, and then now he's playing 2v2 tournaments with Max Packs. I feel like in 15 years or something, Beastie is going to there's going to be this weird manager drama or something, and Max Pax is going to be a millionaire and he's going to have to fire Beastie because he's been stealing money or some shit. I don't know. You know the storyline. All right. Anyways, check out all that base trade TV stuff, guys. If you want to play, it's however long you can survive against Rainer, like the longest person.
Yeah, basically we want Rainer to slaughter these kids, like no mercy type thing, and it's about who can get the best time staying alive. People have started to float their command centers, hoping it'd be good, but Need would build Phoenix right away because people were doing that, and it's gotten really creative from the noob side. It's been very fun, but we've also had some pros smurf their way in. Like one of the first random people, I legit randomly picked someone in a chat, happening Mana Smurf. He still lost to Neeb.
That's funny. I like
Didn't
that.
Thermal playing one of those?
Yeah, Thermal played one too. We didn't know it was Thermal till 3 or 4 matches later.
That would be embarrassing if you smurfed in and then still lost when he's just trying to kill you as quickly as possible.
They all did, Artosis.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so it's been fun.
Cool. Thank you for that. All right. Incoming transmission.
Oh.
You have some incoming transmissions coming up,
Joe? I didn't think you were going to fit this in. Thanks for doing that, Alessander. So I killed this show, basically, but I did have 2 episodes that did not go up yet that I did record, and they were actually pretty good. One was from Ophidian, the guy who runs SE2 Unmasked, which is a pretty cool site. I think you've probably heard of it, I would hope. And he had some really cool stuff about what it takes to do that and run that, and then maybe even how to evade it if you're trying to do that. Then I did Lucid Iguana, who's a name you've probably never heard of. I certainly hadn't when he hit me up to do an interview. But that was actually a very cool conversation too. But his stuff is more custom campaign arcade content. So I know we're all 1v1 guys, but that was a really cool conversation if you're into long talks about StarCraft. So yeah, that's my show. Thanks.
Cool. Is it on your YouTube?
It will be. Actually, not right now. So it will be though, Friday. I'm putting up this weekend.
And that's
so you'll see
nice
me yell
YT channel?
Yeah.
Is that
nice. YouTube.com/nice YT channel.
Excellent. All right, guys, go check that out. This week in Brood War, we had the Brood War G's Weekly scan over Parfum 1-0 in that finals, with Ghost of Dark and DeWalt making it to the round of 4. And we have the Titanus Del Ring Nation Wars. Poland 3-2 over Canada, and that was the finals. So congrats to Poland. They once again proved that they are the best. All right.
Titanes. Cool. Since it's a weekly thing, I think your Spanish is getting better and better. Okay. Titanes.
Titanes?
Titanes.
It's not Titans.
No. It's Titanes.
Because the E makes the A long. Cats.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, but you pronounce it Titanes. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Say it.
Del Ring. Did I get Del Ring right?
Say the whole thing. Del Ring is good.
Del Ring Nation Wars.
No. That's Nation Wars. That's in English. Yeah. But say Titanes. Titanes. Say it. You haven't said it yet.
Titanes.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Titanes. Yeah. All right. Well, the Titanes are Poland because they won. So congrats to them.
Good shit.
All right, moving on. The STPL, sponsored by Liquipedia. Clan Revolution defeated NOS 3-2. Net Wars defeated Red 3-1. This, of course, is over on Kix's channel, cast by Kix and Rapid, and that's STPL TV on Twitch. We also have the Russian Pro League. The top 4 is here. Gorinich versus DeWalt and SPX versus TTF. All very, very strong players. Definitely, you're going to want to check this one out. It's over on Silver's Twitch, twitch.tv/GG_Silver. The Undermine podcast. This is by Making Computer Do Things at makingcomputerdothings.com. They had Antigua and Freakling, and they talked about awesome map design discussions. Freakling is the guy that makes a lot of really popular maps that are used in the pro scene, and he's from Germany. So very cool. Definitely check that out if you're interested. LA Land number 2, March 7th. It's coming right up, just over a week away. $1,000 prize pool over at the Freaka TV PC Cafe. If you are in LA, whether you're a StarCraft 1 or 2 fan, I guarantee you will have a sick, fun, awesome time there. A lot of people showed up the last one and had a great time. So do yourself a favor and show up. This week in awesome. It's a great picture. Artificial intelligence yields new antibiotic.
What?
I'm scanning it for something about StarCraft. I don't really see too much, but very cool. Artificial intelligence. Maybe this is related to like DeepMind or something, but MIT is doing something with that. We have the link to the article in here. So
Alpha Star finished fighting Protoss and started fighting disease.
That's one of the things they said they were going to do with it. So
why is this in this week in StarCraft? I want to know. How does this connect?
It has to have something to do with like Alpha Star or something.
Where is it?
Technically, this is in This Week in Awesome. Doesn't necessarily have to be StarCraft related.
I mean, this is awesome.
That's how all he saw was little link.
news here now.
This Week in Awesome is just
more
awesome
politics.
stuff.
AI is awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hold on though. Let's see what else is in This Week in Awesome. So artificial intelligence yields a new antibiotic. That's a big deal, right? Where computers now are going to make stuff that helps us all to live more. Oh, the base trade TV contest.
Hey, that's me.
Pretty much on the same level as making new antibiotics for humans to live longer. Can you tell us about this, Rifkin?
Well, it is StarCraft related. Basically, if you guys have any really cool StarCraft clips, it can be StarCraft 1, StarCraft 2, doesn't matter. Like specifically if you like watching Artosis blow stuff up or something, post it to our subreddit. We got like 4 days left, and honestly, the bar to beat right now is like 5 upvotes or something. It's not much. So post your clip. If you win cash money. I'll just PayPal you directly. But the streamer whose clip you picked will get 20 gifted subs as well. So if you were to say submit a clip of Artosis and it was what won the actual contest, then Artosis would also get 20 gifted subs. Well, you got cash money.
Yeah, that's great. This is something that I've wanted to do for a while. I'm glad you're doing this because I think it's good to incentivize content. It's really important.
Yeah,
that's true.
The easiest fucking content.
I agree with that.
The only requirement is it's got to be StarCraft related. So don't go post a picture of Artosis playing My Little Pony. That's not going to count.
Does it have to go by Reddit upvotes rather than because like?
Well, so what we're doing is we're posting them all on the Base Trade TV subreddit, and then we're going to take the general like top 10 or 15 that are like uploaded there, and then watch those live on stream and vote on them live on stream.
Oh, I see. So I see.
So the Reddit's just kind of like the qualifier, if you will. And the real thing happen on stream.
I see. That's pretty cool. So like what I was thinking is going by like number of like views on the video and then having like something like the stream or a judge where you say basically, okay, well, you know, like this one could have cheated its way, you know, just a filter to say, okay, no one's cheating basically.
Oh, we could try it for the next one. I mean, this isn't going to be the only time I do this. This is the first one. We're giving it a try and we'll tweak, right? See how it goes.
That's cool.
I've got a spicy clip I'm about to
Jason asked if is it region locked, Rifkin?
No, sorry, dude. Actually, the best one right now, honestly, in my opinion, is M. Canning denying his own buildings to force a stalemate is the grossest Protoss thing I've ever seen in my life. Ooh. He only had 2 DTs, but the Terran had no detection, and the stalemate timer was about to tick and give him the loss, but he kept denying the kills on his own buildings so the timer wouldn't reset. So he was 100% lost that game. But by forcing the draw, he didn't lose.
That was a legendary clip.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, that is one of the sickest plays. You got a link. We got to find a link for that one because I know what you're talking about. And
he submitted it. I'll go grab it and link it in the chat.
So good.
Yeah. So anyway, stuff like that. Get it. Just go post it. It's real simple. Real fun. We've had some really good clips so far.
Sick. All right. Go do that, guys. All right. Also, Fear Dragon presents one simple and painful trick to improve your minimap awareness your doctor doesn't want you to know. The minimap taser. If you enjoy, oh my god,
I've loved this so much.
He's getting tased if he doesn't look at the minimap enough. He is making some sick stuff. We got to have him back on here to talk about this stuff.
He also found a way to do something that Streamlabs and Stream Elements and all these other sites haven't done yet. And he's hooked the API into the channel points. So if you've got like 5,000 channel points, you can zap him by cashing that in.
Man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's next level.
Fear Dragon is actually
we don't deserve
one step ahead of the game.
Yeah, he really is. That is so sick. Guys, go check out Fear Dragon stuff. All right, we also have Brigadier Nils Olav 3 updates.
I was the one that brought this up. Yes, I'm so glad I'm here.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. For you guys who don't know what the hell is going on, so this penguin is a knight. One of the last times Rifkin was on the show, he brought this up. That there is a fucking penguin that's a knight in like Norway.
You didn't believe me. You didn't believe me.
We had the greatest time talking about it. But it turns out Nils Olav III is alive and well and still performing his military duties. You can see he's looking at his troops right now as he walks down.
What did he do?
What did he do?
He's a knight.
He earned it is what he did.
Yeah,
Okay, let's
yeah,
move
it's
on.
a bird. What do you mean? What did he do?
He must have done something to earn it. Some sort of heroic act, like saving.
No, man. It's a bird.
He saved his penguin.
I mean, birds do things, Joey.
He didn't do anything. I will
Yeah,
put
birds
money
do
on
things like
Stop
fly. A penguin doesn't,
Stop
dude.
valuing his accomplishment, Joey.
that. I'll put money on that.
He gets promoted each time the Kingsguard returns to the zoo. He was adopted by like a platoon or something. 1972. This is an old penguin. We're in. This is penguin's like 48 years old. How long do penguins live?
I've never had to think about that.
At least 48. Yeah.
And look at this.
Average penguin life. 20 years for an emperor penguin.
What? Just
It's
20?
not an emperor penguin though.
What kind of penguin is it?
Oh, yeah, this is Olaf the Third, though. Like, this isn't like, I guess this is a succession of Olafs. Like, this isn't the first penguin.
Oh shit! But he keeps getting the ranks.
Naming him after the King Norway's King Olaf V, I guess. So I guess there was Olaf 1 penguin, probably Olaf 2, and they just kept the tradition, is my guess.
Well, apparently, on August 22nd, he was promoted with over 50 people there to watch, and now outranks the guy that adopted him.
That's amazing.
You can't tell me what to do, Dad!
Not just a phase!
All right. Well, thank you for the update, Alessandra, on our penguin night. That's amazing. Okay, so that is this week in StarCraft.
We do have
that was
one
a fun
update.
one. Thank you, guys.
Our vote has come in. It's 86% to 14% of people who would rather vote for maps versus the president.
Nice. There we go.
That sounds about right. The only way that would have been more like a typical vote online would be if it was 50-50, honestly.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess that's the way it is. All right, guys, vote for the maps then. The thing is, I think people are not going to vote for the maps or the president. It's just sadness all around. Okay. So this week, what we are talking about for our main part of the show here is all the drama that's been going on Reddit. So let me just preface this a little bit, and then you guys can start saying, because obviously there's something big with Rifkin going on. You got banned from Reddit. There's like new guidelines that people have been kind of fuming over. But I think there's multiple angles to view this situation. I do want to let people know I did my due diligence. I tried to get Reddit mods on here. I messaged one of them and asked, I said, basically, I'm looking to put together next week's episode of The Pylon Show. This is about a week ago. Based around moderation, I'd like to invite you on. I want to make it clear that this isn't some sort of trap. I'm not looking to have some sort of yelling debate or anything. I'm looking to make a show that just looks at the subject from multiple angles. I'd really like to get a couple of our StarCraft mods on to make that happen. And then it was responded that they're flattered. It says, we are flattered by the invite to the show, but we'll have to decline. We don't want to be a part of the scene and prefer to just be seen more as viewers like everyone else. And because it said we, I said, thanks for the reply. Are you speaking for all our StarCraft mods? And the reply to that was yes.
That is crazy.
So
they have like
unfortunately, I was unable to secure any Our StarCraft mods for the show, I did try. That is obviously their decision. You don't have to come on the Pylon show to be a part of the community. But yeah, so there you go. So
how do
that's
they communicate? Like, how are they?
Because I saw some people when I announced the show being like, "Oh, you should have the mods on there. It's not going to be fair otherwise." It's like, well, I mean, I did try for that and it didn't work out. So
I think that's too bad.
It is because it would have
I
been
would have liked
good
to
get
hear
some
from
insight.
them. Yeah,
I was lucky enough to meet I Bleed Orange and hopefully I don't say this wrong, but it's like Xinghua or something like that. But I've met them twice, not just once, but twice, and they're like perfectly normal, cool people.
Yeah.
I know people like to shit on I Bleed Orange for having a billion trillion karma, like he's some, you know, like the WoW guy with no life from South Park or whatever. But no, dude, they're cool people, and yeah. So I don't know. It's too bad they didn't want to come on, but you know, I read a lot of their posts and you know, arguing.
Well, it really sounds like they agreed no one is going on type thing, right? Like, which is kind of weird to me. It's like
wild
they don't
because
have a individual sense of self type thing.
Well, it's also just that the key issue here underlying my ban or memes or anything is like communication, I feel. And that was like what I tried to make a post about, which I'll talk about later, I guess. But like, why would you shut down communication? At least give a statement or something.
Well, they think
what did you think of the thing they did? So just recently they posted a clarification on the rules. You see that recently?
I'm sure we'll pull that up. Maybe we should read it. Even.
Yeah,
I saw how not liked it was as well.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was liked very much.
Yeah, well, I think it got disabled, the upvotes and downvotes for that one.
Did it?
No, it just got
says
sticky.
0 if you go
sticky.
to it.
That just means it's been downloaded to shit.
Yeah,
it's just got
so it
sticky
has
to the
less
front.
than 50%.
So I mean, it's
like more than 50% of people downvoted.
So I actually just want to clarify something real quick before we talk about anything on this topic, Reddit or otherwise.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people have been projecting their thoughts on my thoughts, even though I've been very clearly vocal about my thoughts. And I just want to say really quick, my ban aside, I know that everyone's suspicious about the timing of my posts and stuff. At the end of the day, I messaged like 3 people to reread my post. I revisioned it like 3 times because I wanted to make sure it was like, I didn't want to come across as this is about me. This is about a greater problem, which is, and then I tried to highlight communication and other issues with the mods. So throughout anything tonight, I don't want people to start like assuming I'm saying anything. What I say is what I say. I'm not like double speaking or anything like that.
Well, why don't you?
Well, I read your post and it did seem like it was very much about your ban as well, right? Like it's.
Well, it was a part of it for sure because that's kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. But the highlight of it was, or the takeaway I wanted for people to have was not like we should shit on the mods or something, but I think the mods need to be aware that maybe they don't realize, because usually when communication's a problem, it's because somebody doesn't realize that communication's a problem. And maybe if we could get the discussion going better, you know, everyone's so focused on the memes and fixing that, it's really like a band-aid on the problem to me. The issue isn't that memes aren't allowed, it's that somebody said this was a good decision and none of us understand why because there's no communication about it. And the closest we've gotten recently was that guidelines, I guess, if you want to call it that, for meme templates, which is just so subjective. It's ridiculous to me that was viewed as a good solution.
It wasn't even that subjective. Like their post isn't that.
Hold on. I gotta slow down because we gotta kind of intro this for people a little bit more because everyone here is so already knows what's going on. So it kind of the drama started to stir, Rifkin, with you. Could you just kind of give us an overview of what went down and what kind of started this avalanche of drama on Reddit?
Well, I mean, obviously there's been this overlaying problem for a long time where people will post content, regardless of what type it is. They'll post content they feel is good. Other people will agree by upvoting it, and the mods will selectively remove it, usually stating something like, this isn't high effort enough, or we don't want memes. And so this kind of creates some, I think, general community unrest. And then you have more instances of other things happening, one of which was, to me, the big point of getting banned. This was a buildup, though. This wasn't just like one post got me banned. Several of my interactions with the mods in private, other complaints about communication. Like when I was banned, by the way, I was originally giving a temporary permanent ban. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I was giving a temporary permanent ban. And then they corrected it by sending 2 more messages that said, sorry, it's 7 days. And then after 7 days, after receiving no more communication, I was just told no, it's actually permanent. So I didn't know what was going on, and it was like
Was
really
there
confusing.
nothing going
obviously.
on in between? Like they talked about it. They
were
addressed
upset
it,
that I had
think,
said
in their
stuff on
post.
Twitter and what have you, but the point of it still is there was no communication for most or any of this, right?
But it seems like they would have read your tweets as communication on your end, right? Because
Sure,
I
but
mean, there
again, it's not about me being banned. I accept being banned. That's fine. It happened and it sucks. But when stuff like what's happening with the meme stuff, what's happening with general unrest on Reddit and things like this happen, it's really opened my eyes how bad this really is for the community as a whole. Blizzard has this on their website. A common thing we've seen, people are probably, why not just make a better StarCraft Reddit? We can't, as long as this is recognized as the official one by Blizzard, because you're going to have people come in and either all the active people have left to create a new subreddit that's very small, all the new people come into a dead one and decide this isn't worth going to, and then you just have nobody there.
Well, you brought up a good point. I just want to talk about numbers a little bit. So the statistics for how many people visit r/StarCraft, they used to be public, and the mods will happily tell you what they are if you
They
ask.
posted something recently.
Yeah, so they might as well be public, but right now you have to go ask the mods to tell them you know, and they'll tell you that between 20 and 30,000 unique hits every month. So, you know, somewhere between 20 and 30,000 people ish, you know, it's an estimate, visit r/StarCraft. And think about just like big picture, that's a pretty thin slice of the community overall, right?
Mm-hmm.
A big important, you know, slice, but you know, it's not everybody. So one, that's considered like this is just one community of many. Like there's the moderation on TL. That's a whole other topic, or like other places you could talk about the moderation that goes on in Twitch chats, because those are big communities too, with thousands sometimes of viewers, et cetera. Anyway, I just wanted to give some reference to, you know, how big of an issue, how many people does this really affect when the mods go crazy and piss everyone off? They're affecting thousands of people. Thousands, like it's not a small number of people.
Right, and it's not obvious that that's the problem, right? Like, because not everyone's vocally complaining about it. Not, you know, you don't see the ripple effect of this affecting the extra 10,000 people who wanted to see memes today but didn't, or wanted to see Rifkin make a post today but didn't, or whatever. But the other part of this too that really drove me insane was actually better spoken by somebody else who replied to my thread than me, and it was something about how basically by the mods banning me but not banning the guy who goaded me into a post that got me banned, it promotes his, like, it kind of reinforces that his behavior is fine. And you saw that continue post ban, where that same guy who was like witch hunting Nathanius and baiting me into fighting with him was posting a bunch of shit all over the other thread. And you're just like, how can you reinforce this behavior? Like,
how did you get banned exactly? How did you get banned?
So the last interaction I had with the mods, they told me you can't directly attack people. You can't say you're stupid. Okay. So I thought I'd be cheeky, and I'm going to be honest with this one. I deserve maybe some moderation for this.
That doesn't get moderated though, because I go into threads all the time. I went into one about me the other day, and literally the account ID was throw away account 69.
That guy's a fuck. I hate that guy.
And he was just talking shit on me in the fucking thread. He didn't get moderated.
But so here's the thing.
Oh,
so
no,
I agreed to this. I'm like, fine, my bad. So I said, by the way, you're not stupid. I can't call you stupid. That'd be against the rules. Okay, I'm really towing the line on that one. I followed up with a reply, and the one that got me the actual ban message was when I said, you know, I can't call you a pathetic person, but if you were to infer it, that'd be on you. They deleted it, said like, we know what you're trying to say with this, and now you're banned for like the temporary permanent 7 days or whatever that was. Which obviously I didn't agree with, so I gave them some less than pretty language. But you know, whatever. But the point is, it's wild to me that it's fine that I got banned. Like, people think I'm upset about this or like this is a big deal. It's not. Like, so what? It's a forum I can't go to. I'll just go somewhere else. But the issue I have is that with or without my presence there, you're still reinforcing the shitty people. You're breeding this like toxicity by doing this. It's not about pushing out me as a content creator so much as reinforcing the bad behavior of the other people on that Reddit. And when that's what everyone new or old comes to, and that's what they see all the time, people like throwaway account 69 posting and not getting punished for it. That's what they come into. That's what you're either going to have more of or none of. Like, it just sucks. Yeah. I hate it. Well, I hate knowing that. Like, I talked to Tempo or other streamers. I'm like, did you see this Reddit thread?
Moderate your behavior in the sense, like they gave you a warning and then you basically ignored their warning. And I'm not saying.
Well, my warning was like a month prior.
Yeah, I'm not saying. Oh, okay. So warnings. I'm not sure how the expiry date of warnings works, right? Like if
Neither
they're
do
telling
I.
you not to be toxic, maybe after 2 months it expires and you can be a dick again.
But what I'm saying is like, why is there like I see the discussion about memes? Why is the discussion not more like how come people like Tempo and Artosis and back when D9 was right now, other people don't want to participate in Reddit? Shouldn't
All right, yeah, hold up.
to-
I gotta stop you for a second because there's so much to unpack about what you're saying.
Okay, I agree.
One, this shit is wildly inconsistent, right? They
Yeah,
are
that's another big problem with it.
mega inconsistent. Well, you're just talking about how it's completely. It seems to me really accepted to just talk shit on people, right? Like that's kind of what
Well, I don't
goes
know
on
that.
Reddit.
Like, are they giving other warnings to other people? Right?
Doesn't seem
I
that
don't
way.
know.
Doesn't
Okay.
seem that way from the posts of
And
recent
like this
days.
is one of the issues. You know, a Reddit mod isn't here to defend Reddit right now,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I would assume they'd say, "Oh, that's not true," but it kind of fucking is. Like it kind of seems like it is, man. You go on Reddit, I see regularly, and not anytime there's a thread, almost every thread that's has traction, like some amount of comments, not just 4 comments, but and every thread you get a little bit of everything. Like you get a lot of nice comments, but if you scroll all the way down, there's gonna be some that are hidden, and there's gonna be, it's a mixed bag, all the time, and I kind of like that. I think for the most part, the upvote system, right, does its job.
Yeah,
I agree.
And
I Bleed Orange talked on that, right? He said like, here's the reasons why this wouldn't work, and he had like all the statistics and stuff.
We should talk about that.
Well, what's so interesting about that I think needs to be referred to before we get into it is, first off, for those who don't know, I Bleed Orange is like a longtime Reddit like veteran. He's all over Reddit, not just our StarCraft, right? So he knows what he's talking about. He's one of the people you can kind of take what he says for like just without a doubt or whatever. But the con is, and I don't think he or the mods realize this either, StarCraft people are not like other audiences. Like StarCraft people are so freaking particular and specific. You can't treat them like you would everyone else on the internet. This is so evident through streamers too, because we're all very aware that StarCraft people only like StarCraft. Take people like Zombie, or probably most of the people on the show. I probably couldn't talk to you guys about other big Twitch drama because you're probably not about that, right? But Livestream Fails is like one of the bigger subreddits, and there's all this other stuff to say. But my point is, StarCraft people are so particular and different than other audiences. So I kind of felt like reading a lot of what he had to say made sense if we were talking about anyone else, not the StarCraft demographic.
Yeah, I mean, we should. Yeah, that's something I wanted to bring up for sure. Is they'll say stuff about. I'm talking about the Reddit mods. So I Bleed Orange or some of the other Reddit mods will say, we can't just let the votes do their thing because people will flood the subreddit with spam. Was one thing I saw.
Not gonna happen,
what? Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I don't buy that shit either. But hold on, I'm trying to think. What he said something else along those lines, basically. Of why you can't just let votes go crazy, but
manipulation.
For sure.
I have the thread up here. So for anyone that's wondering, basically, you can search the thread. It's called "Our StarCraft Rules Updates and Discussion," and we can talk about what that actually says. But the reasoning behind it, there's 2 points that I Bleed Orange posted: vote manipulation and how images work on Reddit. So the vote manipulation was referencing a thread from like 7 years ago on vote manipulation that was occurring. And then how images work on Reddit has the gist that I got out of it was that the quicker things get upvoted when they get on, the more value that gives, and you can consume an image more quickly than other forms of content. So they get quicker upvotes, which mean more. Whereas maybe you read something and then upvote it.
That's a thing across all of Reddit and like all of the internet.
Well, like in particular, because Reddit promotes this behavior, like they
say,
the
like, design of the site
what
itself
works on Reddit. It's like, well, yeah, you're Reddit, right? So, like, what's wrong with that, right? Like, maybe if you want more text or reading more,
and that's okay. Like, that's okay if they want to ban image posts or whatever, or more strictly moderate it. Okay, well, let me give you an example, and I'm gonna try and like be the devil's advocate here for these mods because they're not here, but I don't agree with a lot of stuff they're saying. Anyway, so if you go to r/gaming on Reddit, very big sub, very big. It's full of memes, nothing but memes. It's not a great sub, in my opinion. If you go to r/games, it's heavily moderated. They'll ban they remove most threads. It's kind of annoying. It's actually the mods there get a ton of shit because it's so strictly moderated. So r/games versus r/gaming, I think, is a really good comparison to kind of how the mods are thinking right now, which is like, we don't want to be r/gaming, which is flooded with garbage. It just is. Go check it out. And then take a look at r/games, and it's like all discussion threads. And if you go look at the comments, there's usually a cool discussion. Like, it's actually amazing how much the moderation changes the content you read on the sub. It completely changes it, even though it's pretty much the same topic. It's games. Now, like Rifkin said,
that's a really good point you bring up, because that leads into everything I was trying to discuss.
Well, the mods are trying to move us away from r/gaming and more towards r/games, but we're not r/gaming. We're r/StarCraft, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
our sub is slow as
like
fuck.
Tons of upvotes anyway, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's very subjective whether something sucks or not.
Oh, definitely.
Like, I'd argue that like it's
Definitely.
better for the game. For like, for example, I'm gonna click on the thing with 31,000 upvotes, and it's some shooter. I don't know what the fuck that is, like Call of Duty or some shit. Like, it's better for Call of Duty to have 31,000 people see this clip than
Sure. Absolutely.
clip be removed.
Well, that's kind of what I was just saying. Like, for in the context of StarCraft, we don't need this strict moderation. I think most people agree. Like, that's the whole reason we're on here talking about is we're going way overboard. I think that's kind of a fact at this point. Like, these guys are totally overdoing it. They're not doing it.
It just feels so out of touch with the community too. Like, that's the part.
Yeah, and then the response was a huge fucking yikes too. Like, when you saw the response, it wasn't ideal, in my opinion.
So I want to jump in real quick and just mention what their recent ruling has been. We just had that graphic up on stream. They basically made a guide to memes where there's like, it shows what's not allowed. So what is always allowed is original artwork meme, high effort edit. The discretionary zone is a medium effort edit. And then what is banned is low effort screenshots, low effort edit meme template, StarCraft images added, meme template, StarCraft related text, unrelated image with StarCraft caption. And it says, rule of thumb and additional notes, memes should lean more towards fan art and original content than reposts and low effort edits. Moderators may approve posts at their discretion based on content, quality, and uniqueness. Identical memes posted within a small time frame fall under duplicate posting rules. Memes might remain up for a period of time when mods are asleep. This is not an excuse to bypass the rules.
I think we're forgetting
when we don't remove your post after 12 hours, it's just because we were sleeping, not because we don't actually approve of it and then later delete it. Like,
yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I think we've been talking a lot about moderation and shit like that, but I think this is about this specific topic.
Yeah.
If you
no, see, that's where I disagree though, because the problem isn't necessarily that this is a laughable response. It's that none of the thought process that went into this aligns with anything the community wants or needs, and frankly, that's the same for everything that goes on. And the only reason I bring up my ban is because it is another example of what's happened recently, where you have this unexplained thought process that seems so out of touch. How the fuck is it becoming a reality?
I'm not sure what you mean, the unexplained thought process. I think that it's pretty simple. It's like what they think should be allowed or not, and then we're having this discussion, and hopefully they can change their mind, right?
Why don't we talk?
And I don't think their guidelines are like super ridiculous. Aside from the one that says the discretionary area is fucking retarded, right? It's so stupid. It's like,
I gotta pull this thing off.
You do not have a discretionary area, right? Like, but they're basically saying, okay, like low effort memes basically copy pastas of the Drake thing, and they put some examples in there, right?
I mean, look at the stuff Gemini's been posting. Well, you consider some of the stuff Gemini's been posting. It's been so heavily upvoted too. Like, this is stuff that why is this being measured on a scale? I get if it's towing the line, but when you have like 400 upvotes on one of Gemini's posts, I kind of feel like that should trump the fucking guidelines.
Yeah, the guideline is stupid. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting to it. I think
some of the posts they put in there, like they put the cold as the void post as an example of a bad meme, right? That's like
that was one. I remember that all the time.
That was the top voted thread of all time for like 5 years.
It's good.
Literally the number one thread ever.
So that would have been in the
really? Yes, really.
And
That
that
would've been
is
a
banned
discretionary
now?
I think
No,
it was
it's
in the
discretionary.
middle. They're like,
it would have it would have
This
depended
one,
on who saw it. Like
maybe.
it would have depended on which mod saw it. If the meme would have
literally
made
the
or
most
not.
well-received
Now-
post in years.
One thing to take into account is like memes in general are a reference to a broader cultural phenomena, right? And so people are familiar with memes because they're familiar with the Drake thing, and that's part of why it's funny, and that's part of why it's replicable, is because you're actually sending a message that people will understand.
It's an inside joke that everyone gets.
Exactly. So it's fucking stupid to say like, oh, this, make the Drake meme, but make it with the zealots instead. That's not any more funny for me. Like the funny thing is gonna be the caption and how it relates to StarCraft, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Like if I want to go to Reddit to laugh about, how StarCraft correlates to other aspects of life, then that's perfect. There's nothing wrong with low effort memes.
Yeah.
What matters is the caption, and what matters is like what it elicits in terms of, if someone posts a stupid caption, I'm not gonna laugh, and I'm probably gonna downvote it, and then the system takes care of itself. So it's fucking stupid, I think. But I do appreciate that they made the effort to like try to, because they did get the feedback and they tried to be like, okay, like this is these are the guidelines.
They did respond that
there's the
they
one
got
stupid
together.
guideline.
Yeah. So that's why I'm even more bummed out they're not here, because it seems like they want to work with everybody. So it's a little confusing.
No, like the thing that I get from all of that is that they have like a closed circle group Discord probably of moderators, and they discuss things, and there's someone there that's kind of like a Hitler of some sort and has power over the rest of them, because it's impossible for how many people are they, like for 10 12 people to all actually share this opinion. So someone has to be basically saying like, look, we're all in on this, and I don't know if someone
you
has
said something
more
really important earlier, and I'm like I feel really strongly about this, but effort doesn't make your post good. Like you can work really really hard on something, really hard. You can work so hard on the best fucking thing in the world, and it's gonna suck. It doesn't, how much time you spend on something, how hard you worked on it, doesn't matter that much, actually, in my opinion. You can make something really good really quickly, and you can make a really bad video over a long time. It depends how good you are at what you're doing, really. Like it would take me less time to Photoshop something than, I don't know, cats or something. Maybe that's not true, but like some random person in Twitch chat, maybe, because I use Photoshop a lot, right?
But we all know this. You
Does
put
opening
hours and
Photoshop
hours into a
equate to high
30-second video that gets no views.
Right.
It doesn't make it good.
So the whole, hey, your post needs to be high effort, just right off the bat, I'm like, I don't even like that. So I don't know. I could go on and on. There's very little that they posted that I'm like really on board.
The problem is that it's like still inconsistent in what they're saying too, though, because like one, high effort is subjective in itself. Like, does opening Photoshop to do something as opposed to throwing it together
sitting down and thinking about it, or what about thinking about a joke for an hour, right? Like why
exactly.
Is that
yeah, like how long did that take you to come up with?
Yeah.
Does rendering a video with a common meme format instead of a picture common meme?
I mean that's a
equate
thing
to
too.
high quality, because apparently it does. Because one post just yesterday was allowed, even though it's just the Odyssey whatever 2000 or whatever the 2000 like monkey smashing the skull thing, but with just text overlaid on it. So that's apparently allowed. And then in the thread, the example thing that they did, the highest effort that they did was the original artwork, and they literally just do a Drake meme but as zealots. So are we allowed to just do meme templates but as StarCraft
It's so
things?
stupid. Yeah, I mean, I don't need the zealots for the joke to be funny.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And just today, like I went to bed, I was waiting to see what happened to this thread. The 4v4 thing, the yin yang post that's currently at #1 right now.
Is that still up?
Yes. I looked at that when I went to bed, and I was like, oh, it's a common meme template. It's going to get downvoted. But then it's actually one that he made himself. So he made the template. So apparently now it's staying up. But I guarantee you 100%, you try to do another joke with that template, that will get removed.
Yeah.
That will get removed because you did not make the template yourself.
Yeah,
However,
that's
if you
very
make the template yourself, it's okay now. That's apparently a high enough effort.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't make sense.
I'm a little bit confused. Cobra, if you could pull up the thing I just sent you. So Drogo posts some funny shit on his Twitter.
I love Drogo's Twitter, dude.
One of the best.
He has the best memes. Like the Virgin Trap versus Chad Classic was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. And then
I was attacked.
Gemini shout out on that one.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I think about that one a lot. Sorry.
Dude, it was one of the greatest memes I've ever seen. And
That is
look at this one. I saw this one the other day, and I like belly laughed about it. I still laugh about it every time I think about it. I sent it to Tasteless, and he was crying. We were crying, tears coming down our fucking face.
I love that one. Yes,
because of how funny this is. Because I relate to it so well. Where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a 36-year-old man that actually am like, how did he get all those mutilations? You know. So would this fall upon low effort template?
Yes. No. It wouldn't. Because it's not a common template.
This is not a common template.
Yeah.
However, it uses common like pictures of templates, right? Like the Chad and like the the crying whatever like faces, like those are common
in this
templates.
case. Yeah.
Just putting them in a more original format equate to high effort. I think that's discretionary.
I think
in this case, yeah, it would.
I think the huge like in a nutshell, they need to back off a little bit. One, and two, like
I
they
disagree.
need to like talk to us more.
I wish they would put the same amount of effort into removing these fucking posts or deciding Gemini's not worthy, but rechannel that into stuff like people who are constantly trolling on the subreddit, or to take care of people who are actually toxic.
But that's fine. I think that's fine for people.
Well, I like I said earlier, I do value like you get everything, you get all opinions on Reddit. I think there's something to that's actually really special.
I agree, but if you make a Reddit account that is dedicated to trolling somebody, and there's
that's obvious. That's obvious.
Okay, so that again for me is just like I wish more of the energy spent on the stuff that people actually like all that energy spent removing that. Spend half of that actually moderating the subreddit, and it's a way better place.
Yeah.
The amount of times that I've reported throwaway account 69 just because he's literally just either just blatantly balance whining or like baiting people into that and then just calling them stupid because of it. It's like,
by the way,
so many times and he's still just everywhere.
On the note of mods being like inconsistent, my first warning that I mentioned earlier, I got that as a result of breaking a rule that didn't actually exist on the subreddit. Just by the way.
What was it?
Something about post history. I basically, a guy was being a dick, and I pointed out that he's a dick to everybody. And my comment was moderated, and I was told not to bring up post history. And I go scour the bar. I'm like, there's nothing here about bringing up someone's post history. This makes no sense to me.
Yeah, so,
that's pretty silly. But the thing is, these are small instances that happen to me.
Telling. Yeah.
How this probably happens so much to everybody else because there's way more people who are way more active than I am on that subreddit. We don't hear these stories because they're fucking banned too, probably.
Remember Waylander?
There's like two big things that I kind of want to bring up here. Okay, first off, Rifkin, you getting banned, you keep saying you don't care, it's fine and everything, and that's fine, but actually you're actually like a big part of the community. You fund a huge amount of prize money to players and a huge amount of content to people, and it's your livelihood, right? So for me, I look at that and I'm like, how like that doesn't gel in my head that a group of people can decide to ban you when this is your livelihood and you actually do so much. I've always said if fucking StarCraft dies, it's going to be the Rifkin and Wardy show. You know, that's going to be that's going to be StarCraft esports. That's what will remain. So when I hear something like this, that you've been banned from Reddit, I'm like, well, I mean, you must have done something truly, truly heinous to deserve a lifetime ban here. I don't think that that's the case from what I've heard here, but that's so. And the thing is, that's a slippery slope. Like, if I get fucking banned from Reddit and my content can't go on Reddit, I get far less views, and I have children to feed. This is not something that's okay.
I actually just linked the exact thing that got me banned in the Zoom call. But that aside. My problem, the reason I'm okay with it is they didn't ban my content, right? So theoretically, if someone still really enjoyed Base Trade TV, they could post it, even though I can't, and I can't contribute, and I can't reply. And I think
if they banned you forever, it's permanent ban forever.
Permanent ban, yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, it's the Reddit system that I'm fighting for that would work in that situation. If people want to see my content, they'll post about it and they'll upvote it, and then it'll get removed because it's too well liked by the community. But I don't need to be the one who posts it just to get my content out there, you know? So the reason I'm like okay with my ban is because I'm banned, not my content. So we'll see in a month or two if that hurts or not. I really don't think it will, but the issue I have, and the reason I want to speak so much about this is, again, very much not that I'm banned. It's that this kind of like community is being built, and there's so many people. Like, it doesn't have to be objectively a lot, but there are a lot of people who go to the subreddit, and I don't want to think about me possibly losing viewers in the future because these people were turned off of StarCraft by the Reddit or something, you know?
You know what we didn't talk about and retire John, and I think this is actually an important piece of the puzzle.
What happened to John, by the way?
So this was really important. You
got
guys
banned,
all
right?
know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, he's like a meme maker. I
Yeah.
call him on
He's
Twitter.
like gone. He's like gone.
He did disappear, but I think it has nothing to do with Reddit. But so John came out of nowhere. He actually has been around apparently. Like, I didn't know him until recently when he started posting. But retired John came around and he was posting some honestly really funny videos. And he was posting a lot, and he basically was like a new content creator that just sort of popped up. And
he was in people's streams a lot too.
Yeah, like he's been around. So then he got banned, right? So he and the moderators had some disagreement, and they banned him for just posting memes they didn't like, right? And then do you remember like coming to his defense, Cats? Like, everyone came to rally around this guy and say, "What the hell? Like, why did you ban this dude?" He literally how often do new video editors just show up and start posting videos?
Right.
Never. They don't do that. Never happens.
So
And
they probably gave him a warning too, and he.
Yeah, no, I think it goes just like that. So someone came around and starts posting new videos, and they ban it. But they banned him because apparently they removed a post, and then he started posting again. Like they got in some kind of petty. It sounded kind of petty, to be honest. Little argument, and they kicked him forever. And then everyone on Twitter and stuff came to his defense, and they unbanned him.
Yeah,
this was like 2-3 months ago or something.
Yeah, so that does speak to the dialogue there, I think, to a degree, right?
Well, I think this was the beginning of the end. Like, this is when they started going nuts and freaking out over the relevancy thing, because John pushed that to the limits a little bit, I guess.
I, by the way, at this point, through the years, this is my 8th year streaming. I never heard any real large complaints about the mods on Reddit until this whole John thing started. Like, up until this point, as far as I was aware, everything was fine. I had not seen any instances that made me go, "Hey, what the fuck?" I hadn't heard of anyone getting abused. But then all this John stuff came to a boil within like a week.
It's because of the what happened was, I mean, I like outlined all this as well for this, but like 8 months ago, basically, they made another state of the sub post that was basically a relaxation of all the meme stuff. Because like way back, it had to be where you could have some unrelated meme template or whatever, and then you just slap on some StarCraft related image on it, and that bypasses the relevancy filter. They basically got rid of that rule and made it so you could basically post whatever you want. Common formats with text were allowed, and the video edits and shit were allowed. So like that was all good. So for like 4 months or so, we could just
Fear Dragon have a really good one. One of my favorite Fear Dragon memes was the My Hero Academia one, where he just had text overlaid.
Yeah.
That wouldn't go fly right now, huh?
Well, no, apparently. Well, now it would, because it's a video. So this is the thing. Like, there's like a lot of different, like, there's a lot of shit. Like, so this is mostly for.
Wait. You're saying it would based on the fact that this video stuck yesterday. Your evidence from yesterday.
Yeah. Cool. So, but yeah, for like 4 months or so, you could post whatever you want. I was posting a bunch of shit like that was just like text on meme templates, but related to StarCraft, and it was fine. But then, like, suddenly, like 4 months ago, I posted another meme that was it was basically just that. It was a common meme template with text on it. And then I asked the mods, like, what's up with this? Why did it get removed? We've been posting this shit forever, for like, last however long until you put that thing up. And they were like, we are changing the rules. Well, no, we're not changing the rules. The rules have always been the same, where relevancy has always been a thing, but now we're like getting back into it. We had like a time where we weren't sure what is considered what we're removing or what we're not. So we had like a relaxation, but now we're cracking down, so to say, on this. Like I said, like the rules never actually changed. And so then I asked, well, like, should you make a post about that? Like the other one where you're saying, well, now, okay, you're removing all this stuff. And they were like, no, actually, we don't need to do that because the rule has always been the same. but we just haven't been enforcing it properly. So now we are. And so then I was like, not really sure what's happening. Then another, like 2 months later, I do another thing that is like it's like a GIF, right? It's like a GIF that's unrelated to StarCraft, but it has StarCraft edits on it, but it wasn't intended to really be StarCraft edits, but I posted it anyway. That got removed because it was irrelevant, but then other posts with literally no StarCraft things on it whatsoever don't get removed, because usually they don't, because they just say like, yeah, things that are somewhat related to StarCraft, but like
line of discretion,
it looks like a real life thing, they don't get removed or whatever. So like this inconsistency has like been happening a lot. And then
the line of discretion is what you got, right?
Yeah. And then the video thing with like John and whatever, like those were getting removed heavily during that time frame, but those were video edits with low effort, just like, text overlays on them. So all that was getting removed in the same time period. So that was continuing to filter the hate as well. But now with this new thread, they have allowed this other video that is basically just what John was doing, and it's completely, it has not been modded whatsoever.
Not yet. Maybe they're sleeping.
So
they've been sleeping for a day and a half. So I guess so. They were out drinking quite heavily last night. I guess they haven't quite gotten around yet. That's a joke. I don't know anything about what the mods actually do, but like the inconsistency throughout this last year, it still continues to be there, it seems.
So my question here too is like, by the way, what's happened to John? He like doesn't have like Twitter anymore or anything. I don't even know how to look up it. I don't think his posts exist anymore. Like that guy's just gone.
Yeah, I noticed that too. He disappeared.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's unrelated to all the Reddit drama stuff.
I have no idea.
Sucks because there were so many good examples of the injustice, I guess, if you will. And I was trying to prepare and find some, but then I realized there's no way to look it up because he's gone. Like he's fully gone.
He wasn't kicked out though. Like it is, yeah. I think it's completely StarCraft unrelated that he's gone. He was in a CS:GO Discord.
Yeah,
with like a lot of NA players, for example, and he was mostly into that. Last I checked, I'm not sure if he's still there or if he still talks there. And he was in some drama there at some point. And
well, I bring this up because I think Gemini and Nice Username bring up some good examples of what's happened, but there's just almost no way to go look it up to show you guys, like the post the proof
to
of
look
the
at
link
John's
and stuff.
videos.
Like to see what they're talking about.
Oh yeah, that is a shame. That is a shame. You can't find his account. But this was only months ago, and like he was posting so many videos, and they were funny, and like he was doing a good job, honestly. That he actually got picked up to do like a real job. He did some of the B-roll for Home Story Cup. So like we literally had a new content creator just arrive and show up, and only within a few weeks the Reddit mods decided to ban him. Like I think it was a permanent ban too. So it just it's just another example of like what the hell.
Like John was a spicy or is.
Oh, he wasn't that spicy. Like we're not talking edgy kid here.
He's kind of spicy.
It was definitely
lots
edgy,
of his posts were balanced wine. Let's be real.
Yeah,
and not just outwards. Like
okay,
I don't.
But if you consider someone like me edgy,
still,
John's
I don't think
not
it
edgy.
was.
Like,
I don't think it was that bad. Honestly,
I don't know.
I don't think it was.
I don't know what he would say. What he would have said privately.
It still sucks because
Rifkin, your ban. I think that the one thing that is really fucked up from their explanation is that they banned you based on your inter exchanges outside of Reddit on Twitter, which should have no bearing.
Well,
with
Cats,
how
if you've read them defending this, obviously it also has to do with the fact that my posts are just negative all the time, always. Ignore the fact that I post twice a month and it's rarely negative, and you can see all that publicly on my profile. The mods have definitely seen something I haven't. So, clearly it's fair, Cats. I don't even know why you bring that up.
Well, no, I'm just saying like there's a lot of inconsistency in how they act and how they basically make decisions as a hive mind of mods. And yeah, like for example, Twitter should just have no bearing on like, like if you fucked up and they banned you for a week for your behavior on Reddit after they gave you a warning, then that's what should stick. And then after a week, they should unban you independent of what you say anywhere else, because they're not, the rulers of anywhere else, if you will.
So that's what was interesting, because while I use colorful language just about everywhere in my interaction with mods, the most pain conversation was 9 days after my ban, sending a message to ask if I could see what's going on. I'm still banned. one of the mods responded to me directly, like with their name and everything, saying what's up. And then when I said, well, I'm curious if you could tell me what's going on in my band, immediately the anonymous mod wall quoting me like 7 paragraphs of condescending text. I'm like, okay, this was not helpful in the slightest, but all I took away from this is that I'm still banned. Okay, cool. And that same person, I don't know if we're saying names or not. I don't want to, but I've just pulled up this post I'm reading in relation to going on the Pylon show to talk about this. That same person I interacted with made a huge paragraph post about not cowering. Excuse me, I'll quote this. So no, we do not cower and we never will. That's not how this works at all. But yet still none of them came on the Pylon show. They immediately mod walled me through anonymous. There you go.
Did you call them cowards then? Or why is he?
I'm not calling them cowards, but I'm just saying it's insane.
I mean, why would he say we would never coward?
Here, the post they replied to,
the mod said that, yeah.
Yeah, the mod said, the person replied, you said, okay, so someone asked, could you sit down on the Pylon show, talk this out? These complaints keep popping up and nothing ever happens. Someone then responds, no mod would ever do that. They like to cower behind the safety of their Reddit accounts so as to never have to deal with direct backlash. And then they're explained that. But my point is, like, it's not just inconsistency in terms of like their actions, it's their inconsistency in how they handle people. Like, how are you gonna make a big post about say we never cower, we never will behind anonymity, and then fucking I can't get that out of a reply? They won't come onto the show to talk or defend their points. It's just nothing is consistent. If it is a hive mind, it's the most disorganized hive mind I've ever witnessed. Like none of what they do makes sense.
Well, you would like the thing is it's a thing that holds some sort of power, right? Like in that they have the Reddit moderation, so they act as or try to act as one. They are inconsistent, certainly. Like in their own rules, the fact that there is a discretion zone is fucking.
I don't think anyone's asking for perfect consistency, though.
Yeah.
You know, like no one's asking
for like the bar is so low, right?
Yeah.
Like
no one's asking for perfection. I don't think the community is asking for too much. And I don't think the mods are like these evil, horrible assholes who are just out to screw us.
No, so I really believe they all have good intentions.
Yeah. Go on.
I think they all have good intentions. They want to make the subreddit a good place. They're just doing it, in my opinion, the wrong way. And
or they don't know what we want as a good place.
Right. Yeah. And whether it's a communication issue or whatever, the point is they're working with a reality that is different than the actual reality the rest of us are in, I think.
Yeah, but this isn't uncommon, right? Like, for example, Blizzard would have this same type of attitude when people think that they want something different, and Blizzard's like, well, no, this is the way that we've been doing it, or this is the way that it is.
Well, what's
or
the
like
famous,
if anyone watches
you
like
think
the
you
WWE,
do, but you don't.
Yes, but it is a common thing. Like in the WWE, for example, right? Like the fact that they have like the villains and the good guys and how they feed them to people. Like Vince McMahon or whatever, like the owner, like he said multiple times, like people think they know what they want, but they don't. And he's often right, because if you give people what they want all the time, they just get bored. I just don't think it's the case with the Reddit, with memes in particular.
Yeah, well, I think the voting system does more than the mods are letting it do right now.
Yeah, it's Reddit. It's
like, and for the longest time, this was never an issue. When has this ever really been an issue?
That's what I'm saying. For like 7 years, I never heard of a single problem.
Really. I can remember actually very specifically one time where it was very clear that the mods need to step in like right now. And it was very obvious because the event was Destiny. This is back in Destiny streaming days. Destiny got GM. And Reddit, every single thread on Reddit was Destiny got GM or some variation of that. And if you went to the news section, it was just so many threads. Destiny got to GM. It was honestly hilarious, but
that's a big meme,
it was like you couldn't use it. So StarCraft for that period of time was unusable, and it was very obvious. Okay, mod, yes, please, obviously you should go do something about that, and they did. But like since then, I haven't seen, beyond a few maybe crazy comments or something, I haven't seen posts that really were so obviously needing to go down. Like I'm really of the opinion that it should be mostly hands off and only look at Twitch chat. Think about Twitch chat and just look at the things people say in Twitch chat generally. Like they might bag on the person streaming. They might say they look like shit or whatever, like Twitch chat might be rude, but it's whatever. It's what Twitch chat. It's the internet. But like if someone's posting those big walls of text that just ruin the chat, Like I feel like it's pretty clear when you need to moderate something, and when it's not so clear, I think the obvious answer is to just back off and let everyone else, especially when you can vote on the post, just deal with it.
The annoying thing as well is that people will always bring up the argument that if we allow memes, then it's just going to flood the sub and we're not going to see actual content, when that has never been the case, except for like a few outlier situations where like one meme gets really hot, like the warp in eyes, or when we were
good though. Those are good times.
They
Those
put
are
that in the game.
Blizzard
They
made
associate
with StarCraft that they bring people in, right?
So that's besides the point. I agree that it's still. I personally still think it's fine, but that's what people will point to as the counter argument to allowing upvotes to just decide the content. But those are outlier situations that have happened maybe once every couple months, and outside of that, you can never not find the content that you normally would anyway on our StarCraft if there were memes being posted, because there's at least at most maybe 5 at one time on the front page, if that. There's maybe like 2 to 3 at the very top.
But what's the problem if there's 30? It's Reddit. Like they themselves say on Reddit, the way it works is images are processed fast. Like they know how Reddit works. So why not let it do what works?
So again, and that's not even the point that I'm making, because like I agree, I just like memes, so it's fine. But the point, at least specific to this subreddit, is that even when we do allow memes to be posted as much as they can be, like they were 8 months ago, you still could find all the content you could anyway, because you could get something on the front page of our StarCraft with 4 upvotes in an hour. Like you don't need a lot of viewers or a lot of upvotes to actually get things to the front page. So content is not getting drowned out.
No, not at all. It's very slow. It's very inactive.
Exactly. If anything,
there was someone in the thread that was making that argument about when I made the SpongeBob post or whatever. Someone made that argument, and I literally linked him 11 different content posts that were on the front page. Like you can't, like,
you're not drowning out anything.
Dude, how dare you present facts in your argument?
Like it doesn't make sense.
It's just not true.
At the absolute worst, when there's like a lot of them on the subreddit, maybe there's like, there's 10 funny meme pictures on the post on the front thread. Oh no, you might have to go to the next page of the Reddit to find your tournament with 30 viewers on it, or whatever.
Or there are even alternate solutions to this, right? There's always a sticky post. Maybe if there's like content that they think worth highlighting, maybe they can do a sticky extra post per day or something.
I mean, they also tag all the posts, right? They tag them with like video.
They try.
They try. True. And like the tagging system is its own mess of a problem. But why not make like a meme tag or whatever? I saw someone suggest that in chat. Like there has to be some middle ground, right? There has to be some answer that doesn't piss off the people who make content like on a regular basis. So
I think featuring things would be a good solution for that, right? Like just sticking whichever.
Well, that becomes a little bit arbitrary too, right? Is what to feature and whatnot. But I want to bring up another case on Reddit that occurred. Did you guys follow what was happening on the Overwatch Reddit and with the esports and everything?
How they split they have
so there was a huge argument basically. The Overwatch League people wanted memes to be censored on the Overwatch subreddit, because the Overwatch subreddit is really, really large.
Well, it wasn't just memes, it was play the games.
They were getting they were getting washed out though, right? Like the Overwatch League content was getting washed out.
Oh yeah.
So I remember seeing a lot of big pushes by a lot of the people in the esports scene over in Overwatch trying to get it so that this would be moderated, so that their content would not be washed out. And it wouldn't just be, look at this tracer
play of the game
or some
play
shit,
of the game,
right?
It's all like it's flooded, like Rifkin said. That subreddit is just it might as well be r/play of the game. So
so what do you guys think about that? Because that ended up not working, and the Overwatch subreddit is what it is now. There's competitive Overwatch, I believe, is the subreddit that they put the other into, but it's much smaller.
But the problem is that the Overwatch subreddit is just massively more populated than our StarCraft.
There's so much more that's going on there. You can't really compare it.
They also have a play of the game system. So like there's literally a clip that shows the best play of the game every game. So you just click that and you post it.
The difference is,
if you want to do that, I'll let you go, Joey. Sorry. If you want to do that for StarCraft, you actually have to make the video yourself to do like your own highlight,
yeah,
right?
it's built into
like,
Overwatch. There's an export video button.
That's high effort
So
already.
it's very
Which
yeah,
is-
exactly. That would be
that's
high
brilliant.
effort in StarCraft. Yeah,
That's honestly
the
so
problem is
smart.
that the play of the game is a thing on Overwatch for starters, right?
Yeah.
And even then, like if you look at the subreddit that emerges for competitive Overwatch, people don't give a shit about it. Is the honest truth, or don't care as much because the Reddit system doesn't do that well to service this type of people like other forums do, and imagery does win on Reddit.
So, well, my opinion about just what happened to the Overwatch sub is like, yeah, it's a huge difference that they're able to drown out the competitive posts. Like that is an issue for the competitive scene.
It can be
for sure. And I can see why that would be, you know, something to discuss and be worried about. But at the same time, if I was calling the shots and it was my subreddit and I could pick and choose, I wouldn't force out the casual memes and stuff. No, generally speaking, my theme in general is like hands off unless you're really screwing it up for everyone else. You know, if you're posting content that everyone likes and it's the game, it's not like you're posting trolly shit or anything, I don't think it's a problem. So I mean, I get it, at the same time it's easy to see why the competitive scene needs a hub and stuff, and I think the answer they have, which is basically they have two subreddits, competitive Overwatch and Overwatch. It's probably not ideal, but I think it's I don't think it's so bad at the same time. The problem, I don't know what I would do different. I don't think I can think of anything better, so I don't hate it that much. That's all.
I think a problem with this though goes back to one of the earlier points I brought up, where a lot of people are suggesting, why don't we just make a new subreddit or use r/StarCraft 2, and kind of hand in hand with this. Like, first off, there's just not there's not enough population to populate the two. There's barely enough to get any kind of content going on one. So I just feel like the only solution to any of this is fixing at the core what's wrong with our StarCraft and making it a place that people want to go to. And regardless of my participation or not, I think at the end of the day, if I hear that Tempo and other people are talking about things on Reddit, even if I'm banned, I'm still going to go check it out, right? I want that to be the kind of environment that I'm hearing about stuff on and looking at threads for, not just like hoping to see some kind of drama under fucking r/new or whatever of who's done what. Nathaniel said, what about players this week? Like, why is that the thing that we are promoting?
Well, I mean, that's what people are talking about, you know.
Yeah, if people are talking about it, then that's fine.
And I think there needs to be a place where people can just talk about shit.
Well, this
but
is
here's the causality
Team
problem.
Liquid is so small now, right? It's so inactive that our StarCraft is the hub of the community. There just isn't a question on that. It's the site that we go to if something's happening to check what people are saying.
Read it.
Yeah.
But like the cause and effect here problem, right? Let's say I'm going to use me again as an example because I'm already banned. Who cares? Let's say I get baited into, instead of having a thoughtful discussion about a topic, I'm too busy saying fuck you to some other guy who's fighting, let's say, calling Artosis shitty or something, right? I got your back, Artosis. But like, when it comes down to it, if the Reddit mods just took care of that guy who's instigating, you could gauge obviously, but like instigating, then there is no toxic reply from me that gets me banned in the first place, right? Like, so much of the moderation problem is cause and effect.
I mean, I don't think you should be looking for the root of who threw the first stone. That's so difficult to trace, right? Do you then look at the Reddit?
But you can with Reddit, and that's my point. If they moderated things correctly, you wouldn't have this feeling of anger and like, I guess, unrest. I don't even know if like, there's a better word for it with people like Gemini or me or whoever.
I mean, both people in an argument would have some responsibility, right? Like not to escalate, for example. So like, I don't know, like if I say, hey, you know, like fucking Joey, I don't like your sweater, and you say, well, you know, I fucked your mom. Well, that's escalating, right? So
yeah,
like
I'm not. By the way, just to be clear, I'm not saying I'm right in my example here, nor should my behavior be tolerated either. What I'm saying is negativity
that's my point, is
breeds
would
negativity.
Be very difficult. It would be very difficult for a mod to be like, well, that's okay, and this is not okay. It's like it's even grayer of an area than the memes.
Okay,
like
so I'm going to give you a
behavior.
real-time example, Cats, okay? In a thread that I'm currently in a discussion with the moderators about, someone makes an account saying, my dead cat, dead Millie, and proceeds to comment on all my posts. They are so busy focused on something really inane that I've done, such as post somebody's post history, that they're letting this guy shit all over this thread instead of dealing with him. And what got me moderated the first time was replying to that guy. I got baited by the guy who made an account named after my dead cat making fun of me.
Like, that's super mean, but no one's made an account after my dead anything, right? So like,
but what I'm
maybe
saying
that
is
guy
if
had a
that was
grievance
taken
with
care
you,
of,
so-
instead of being upset that I'm posting someone's post history, which by the way is again not a rule that exists on our subreddit, like then I don't get in any trouble and no one gets any extra toxicity, right? They're taking care of the wrong stuff.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
part of your ban was based on what you were saying on Twitter. Is that correct?
I don't know what I've come to the
Because I was just going to
understanding
say
of.
that would be those two things don't line up. That you can't
that
post
is what they said.
Reddit
That's what the
history,
mods
but
said.
Right, that's
you
what
can
they've
look
said.
at.
I've not been
You
given
can't
any
look at
great...
someone's Twitter.
No,
That,
it's,
like,
it's
when you
absolutely
line those two
super
up, I'm
stupid.
like-
Again, if we're gonna argue like Rifkin's unbanned, I think that the fact that the mods said we banned them because I originally banned them for 7 days, and then
And
after those 7
I agree
days,
that I deserve that ban. Just by the way,
like they were talking or in some sort of communication, and they felt like Rifkin was like inflammatory on Twitter, and they say on Twitter, and it's like, well, that's completely unrelated with Reddit, right? So why are you moderating Twitter now? So that's the part that's stupid to me. If Rifkin had a 7-day ban on Reddit, and that's what he earned,
and also like, if you banned him and he says something mean about you, so what, dude? Like, what do you think he's gonna say? Something nice about you? Like,
well,
get
that's
over
well,
it.
that's the
you.
well,
Are
that's,
you
well,
kidding
that's
me?
the thing.
I've
Are you?
Well, that's
Are you
the thing
serious?
is, people, that's the thing is you're talking shit to someone that's holding the stick, right? So then they get all power hungry and they do whatever they want. But
Yeah,
in terms of moderating like behavior, as far as like who was toxic first, I think that's impossible. So it's not something, because the guy that made the account of your dead cat, as mean as that is, he's probably escalating off of something that he feels you wronged them about, right? People don't just do things because,
but see, this is where
you don't just pick a random person.
A big argument for...
But I think it's a great example. I think you're a great example because there's a route that is different than the start of that discussion on Reddit. So that guy shouldn't get moderated on Reddit necessarily, right? He might have his grievances with you separately. So who started?
The reason I
reading?
disagree that I could be an example here, though, is because there is this weird reality people have invented for me. Like, for example, how many times have you seen someone bring up the sort of situation, like when it comes to like Rifkin doing terrible things in the past, and they'll link this thread from like 4 years ago, where I've talked about this so many times publicly, like, yeah, in the heat of a moment, 4 years ago when I didn't know what I was doing, I banned sort of because he messed with our tournament. I also immediately, like the next day, called him and apologized and unbanned him. And of course, no one saw that because they only saw the drama part. And that's the part that's stuck. This fictional ban situation that keeps getting brought up 4 years later. Like,
it's
hard to say because I don't have a real, like, what happens to me in reality is not what has happened to me on Reddit.
So it's sort of, for example, like the only instance of a player that you've had trouble with or that you've banned?
No, I'm not perfect. Dude, there's no guidebook to this. I made a ton of mistakes.
Exactly.
But the thing is, I corrected all my mistakes. Nobody in their life, like I will shut the fuck up and I will do what Jake couldn't. I will actually eat a shoe if people can find instances where I've repeated the same mistakes. Because every time we've done it, rather than spend a week apologizing publicly, I've just fixed what was wrong, right? Like we've gone through and corrected, we've added rules that we didn't have. Payouts have been changed. Like we've done so many things over the years. The players are still participating in our events because we're doing it right. I'm just sorry that if you didn't, get the apology you wanted on Reddit or something, right?
I guess. I mean, I know, like, for example, Bales, last time I saw him, I asked him, why are you not playing this tournament? He said, I'm banned, right? I wasn't even inquiring about it.
Wait, really? Bales?
So, Bales was banned, yeah. And Bales retired shortly thereafter because that was his main gig, right? So
I don't know if that's cause if Bales didn't play enough of our stuff for that to be.
It's not, I mean, that's the main things that he played in his offline events, right? I'm just saying, like, there are examples out there, right? I don't think that anyone corrects all of their mistakes. That would be incredible.
I mean, Rifkin did bring up an interesting point that I've heard over and over. Like Destiny used to say this all the time too, but like the internet doesn't really forgive or forget. The internet, if you screw up, you always screwed up.
There's other things too.
That's a thing. I don't have anything else to add, but that happens.
In the real stuff that happens, I get how people can miss the follow-up, right? And that's logical. That makes sense. You see the drama, you don't see the apology. This happens all the time. But we also have things that get heavily upvoted all the time where people are just inventing completely fictional situations. Like another one that gets brought up all the time and gets upvoted all the time is this guy who remembers me being so toxic to our observer at the time that I made him quit the stream. And the reason this is fictional is because there is no observer. I am the observer. When you watch Base Rate TV, I'm doing the production, I'm doing the camera. Like, there is no third person that's doing all this for me while I just talk. But this story gets upvoted all the time, and I don't understand how or why.
I've never seen it. Just saying. So I guess it may not be as big of a problem. Like, there's always those things too, though, where like you might get attracted to a certain type of thing that gets upvoted, but it doesn't actually get seen by as many people as you might think. But
sure. Well, my point is, as the receiving end, I see the same arguments over and over and over throughout the years. The same. Rifkin was an asshole. We can never forgive him because of this action here.
Oh, Reddit hates Rifkin. There's no question about that. Reddit hates Rifkin.
And the cards are super stacked against me. That's why I'm saying
that's a fact.
I think he's making a good argument, but I can't be the example of that argument because it's such a different. I'm such an outlier, basically.
I agree.
So the Rifkin drama aside, I do want to something that's kind of like bothering me at the core here right now. For me personally, is one, again, this is your job and you provide a big service to the community and you're banned for lifetime. Who gets to decide that? That sounds like a gigantic amount of power to have over someone's life. And then,
but it's not much different than Bales, right? Like the situation.
Well, the difference is,
look,
do you know
I'm
why
not
Bales
saying
is banned, by the way, Cats?
I don't.
Tell why. Say it.
You know what? I don't want to disparage the guy. We'll just say he said some very personal things that were super I think he was mad in the moment and never apologized for.
And that was posted to Reddit?
Okay, but this is not different.
What I'm saying is
the exact same situation that you had on Twitter with them.
No, because
it's not exactly the same. Just to
Bales knew what he was doing. I gave him a warning. I said, if you don't stop this, it's going to be over. This is going to become a permanent ban. And he was fine to just keep shit talking about it. So that's where we went. For me, I was given a
warning first,
temporary, permanent, whatever ban, and then in that process of the waiting period, I was banned permanently without ever being told so. Like, there was no communication. It's not the same at all.
I see.
The end result is, sure, it affects our income. The difference is he had a choice to make. I didn't.
Well, it sounds like they did give you a warning a month prior.
A month prior, the warning was you can't attack people directly, which I didn't do.
We should talk about what our
I don't know if you didn't do that.
So
yeah.
Well, let me finish my thought here. Okay.
Yeah.
Just the fact that, for instance, Rifkin can be banned. Whether or not that's like Bales being banned from his tournaments is a discussion for another time. But then also, like, for instance, the heavy new moderation, or I don't know if I should call it heavy or not, but like all of this moderation, I look at it, and the thing is, I'm trying to figure out if I agree or disagree with it, because I try to put myself into the Overwatch League people's position and think about how I would feel if I could never get anything onto the page, if no one was watching anything that I do, and I do full time for a job, right? I feel like in that situation, I could see how perhaps that would be more called for, and that would these rules would make sense. And then I read what everyone's saying and listen to what everyone's saying, and everyone seems pretty enraged by it. It is a smaller subreddit. I don't feel like things are being flushed out, but I don't know. I guess just there's like the Reddit mods have like a lot of power here and don't seem to listen. Like, if something's getting 1,000 upvotes,
they hide behind a mod wall. Who's going to hold them accountable?
But I'm not sure that that's true, because I mean, maybe we're in the process of them listening, because first of all, they did unban John after we made noise, and second of all, after we made noise again, they posted this.
They did make a post. They just didn't come on the show. They didn't do that.
Yeah,
but they have been talking to us.
There is a line of communication. Like, they're probably watching the show. They'll probably be listening to the show. I think that the best and easiest way to go about this is like, let's try to do what most people want. If it gets out of control, then get out another post and let's talk about it again and be like, hey, like, is this what we want as a community, and discuss it, right?
Yeah.
And to the Overwatch thing, again, there are ways to bypass, like a sticky post about the Overwatch League every week or every day, right? And then all of a sudden you have all the shit that the Reddit wants and the thing that a smaller subsection wants.
The thing about our StarCraft right now, though, even with whatever state it's in, stuff like when hype shit with IEMs going on is still making it to the top post. Everyone's still seeing the stuff.
It
always has. It always has.
Yeah, of course. That's the point.
So I don't think even if we flood, let's say the worst dream of the moderators came true and people just flooded it with shitty memes. I'm still very confident the stuff that gets to the front page would still be filtered and sorted and sifted. Like, we wouldn't need a sticky post. We wouldn't have to worry about bypassing it. Because, like, at the end of the day, well, people certainly like the double pylon eyeball meme thing. More people are more interested in IEM going on.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so, just based on the viewership alone.
It's kind of funny timing for all this as well when you think about it, because we're just coming out of the longest downtime season we've ever had.
That's a very good point.
In StarCraft 2. So of course there's going to be more memes up there because there's just not that much going on. It's like, again, Rifkin.
This is the total off season.
Where's GSL, guys?
Yeah, well,
how many threads
that yet?
Yeah, I mean, that's such a good
guys. Did we find anything about GSL yet? I don't pay attention
for like the 50th.
I need to post
I honestly think they should make a meme contest and just have like like promote memes, because there's not enough of it. There's not enough content. There's just like, if we go to the subreddit and we look at fucking app votes, it's pretty fucking sad, right? Like, you need no app votes to make it to the front page, essentially. Like, there's shit in the front page with 9 app votes, 7 app votes, 4 app votes.
I've posted things
and
without a single upvote.
No app votes, 5 app votes, 6 app votes, right? It's pretty fucking bad. Now, the top end usually has a lot of app votes. That is good. That is like, for a person to join the subreddit and have something that has 1,100 upvotes, that is a good sign for them that they want to be there, that they're sharing in on an experience that's greater. And the thing that's most upvoted is a meme.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a meme.
That's a good point. It's sort of encouraging to the people who post content to get votes and get comments.
This is a medium effort meme that could have been removed upon their discretion. And then if you remove this, all of a sudden, this thing has more app votes than the entire front page combined, minus the Terran size by comparison thing.
Yeah.
So you have a subreddit that looks completely dead without this medium quality meme. And you have a subreddit that's like, oh, there's actually people here. Maybe I should, stop by and click and comment. And it has 92 comments that it's generated. That's great.
I just want to go back to this point, though, that I think, I know we've talked a little bit to death. I'm not trying to rehash it, but I see a lot of people, obviously in chat, saying like, the Rifkin thing is so different than this meme thing. And I can understand why that should be an argument. But my point is that they both boil down to the same problem. Guys, that's why we're talking about so much of this. Like, it's not that memes are banned. It's the thought process that went into banning memes in the first place, I think, is the core issue here.
What is the thought process? What is
the good question?
Well, they posted.
They posted a thing, yeah.
They posted the thing, kind of explaining about it, like the level. They don't want things drowned out.
So the thing is, they like different things, no? Like, what's the where do we join here? That's the same people doing it?
Don't know who's making it. Is it one person and they'll voice his opinion? Like, that's the thing I'm saying. You can't even talk to them about them going into anonymous mode right away and hiding behind like a mod wall. Most of them don't even post with their mod flares too. So like, you don't even know you're talking to a mod half the time.
I mean, that doesn't
Mods are like pretty new. Like, there's a couple like Bleed Orange, Dagor, Xingua or whatever. Bob Killer has been around for a while. Those are like the main ones. But
those are the old
other than
names,
those ones, I think they're all very new. They get kind of recycled fairly frequently. As far
how
as
does one become a Reddit mod?
They make a post every now and then.
It's arbitrary.
That says who wants to be a mod, and then people post it.
They
and
just
then they
apply.
Yeah. You apply and they pick you. But that's kind of interesting. The way Reddit works. Reddit is a massive website, right? Massive. Like top 10 in terms of traffic. And the people who moderate subreddits, especially big subreddits, have a disgusting amount of power in terms of just imagine modding like r/videos or something, or r/ask Reddit. Like,
there's a mod in the chat. Shingwa's in the chat.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, there's a mod in the chat for sure, and there's probably more watching. But
that's the thing. They're on the chat, not on the show.
Sure. So let me finish. What was I talking about? Something about ask Reddit. So yeah, so basically the way Reddit works is the administrators run Reddit, the website, right? But they don't touch the content. They just don't. That's all up to the mods. Look, every single piece of content on Reddit is not the administrators, the people who run the site and are paid, you know, like that's their job full time, have nothing to do with actually with what's posted on Reddit. It's on the moderators. So to be a moderator is actually a huge responsibility. And when I heard that, you know, the moderators had said, you know, I hope it's okay for me to repeat this, but they had said something along the lines of they don't want to come on because they want to sort of just be treated as another StarCraft fan, which I think is respectable enough for sure. But I also want to say, like, you can do that, but even if you're not on the show, you're still a very important member of the community, no matter where you are. You are like, you wield a lot of power, yes, and like
Plus,
your
it
job
controls the
matters.
funnel of what
So
content
please
looks
take it
like.
seriously, yeah. Like,
well, they are taking it.
I think they're
too
taking it too
seriously.
seriously.
maybe, yeah.
Well,
So,
the thing
yeah.
though, you can't have it both ways. You can't be both a casual viewer, please, we're just like the rest of you, but also like you can't post this because they said so. Like when you control the flow of content, you are more than just a viewer, whether you want to be or not.
Yeah, that's I would agree with that statement, right? Like I understand, like the thing is not everyone wants to come on a talk show and talk. But I think if you have a lot of powers, you do have to have at least some sort of dialogue with people, right? There has to be. And I see that they definitely they responded a lot in their thread, right? In the new rules thread, they definitely responded a lot. So that is a form of dialogue.
What scares me is that it's like you're talking to the mod team instead of like any individual moderators, and like you know, like it's the fact that they responded as one to you, and they were like, we are not coming on the show, you know?
Yeah.
Like that to me is the scary bit, because they seem to all be on the same page about everything, and that's just, you know, not how human beings work.
Yeah, I don't know if they realize, but the second you go, like in my instance where I was talking to one of them directly, and then they went behind the mod wall, that turned that from a 1-on-1 conversation to a 1 versus 13.
Yeah.
Like there's no way, even somebody like me who's confident online and everything doesn't feel intimidated by that. Like it's really a shitty position to put someone in.
Yeah. And that's what they seem to be doing, is are cutting up as 13, right? And then that's kind of weird. Because because how are they deciding? Like, is there one of them that has more power over the rest of them? Because like, how do 13 people all say, I don't want to come on the Pylon show? I cannot imagine that each one of them, if you had invited them separately, would have all said, no, I don't want to. But there is someone or someone that can basically say, you know what, none of us are coming. And that's fucking weird to me.
I mean, it's a smart move, though, because when you consider the problem where they are all inconsistent, none of them are on the same page, and they don't all mod by the same rules. If you have one come on and misrepresent the other 13, like, I can see why you would want to shut that down, because you don't have your own house in order. You can't let someone represent it.
Yeah, like I definitely would agree. It makes sense if they're not going to come on to not, like, for everyone not to come on, I guess.
Game of Thrones.
So,
a round table of 20 people arguing about memes in one show.
Well, my original thought for the show is I just wanted Reddit mods on. I wanted to grab 2 or 3 of them and just talk with them, and then maybe do a follow-up episode later with you guys. Yeah, I had several ideas for the show, and but I mean, this is what we got, and it's pretty good.
I'm glad to be your silver medal, Artosis. Thank you.
Rifkin, I was always going to get you over here eventually.
You're Dan, you're such a liar. He's like, hey, I'm gonna invite this and that, or like, I'm like, hey Dan, you should get the mods, like, because they're like the Hitler of our generation, is what I said privately. And then was like, oh, I invited a bunch of them, but they all said no. I was like, oh, that's a shame. And then he was like, I'll invite this other person, and then and then like later he's like, oh, Katz, do you want to come on the show? You're not a backup, by the way. Like, well,
well, here's the thing. When I put together, okay, then. This is an important statement for anyone that I ever invite onto the Pylon show. The way that I do the Pylon show nowadays is I invite like a person to start. And then I build around the first person that says yes, I build around, because I want conversations that actually work together. And I don't want fighting on the show, and I don't want people screaming at each other or like someone being shut down by someone else. So I'm very careful about that, right? And so I get people that can actually sit down and have a real conversation rather than, oh, let's get the guy that banned Rifkin and then have Rifkin, who's a commentator and a public speaker, bash him. Like, that would be pointless, right? That would be completely pointless. So
but on that note, by the way, that's something I really want to fight against, because a lot of people think that's what would happen if I ended up in a 1v1 conversation with these guys. But that's like not the case. And I know no player's ever going to come out there and like start posting our like conversation privately. But everyone I've ever had an altercation with, we usually just resolve and just say like, it's all good, man. Sorry for the fight. Like, everyone thinks I'm some unreasonable guy, but I'm really not. And I just want to put that out there for everybody. While I say some mean words, I could be loud because I have a voice. At any point, I'm willing to also just have a reasonable discussion at any given time. Like,
ish. I mean, I'm blocked from your Twitter, and I think I was being perfectly reasonable, for example. Right? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
well,
And I don't know if I agree with that
about
because
it and asked to be unblocked. Because if like right now, if you just asked me to unblock you, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Because I'm done not wanting to see what you had to write.
I don't need an unblock. I never block you.
But this is my point, Cats, that I'm saying right here. You just assumed it would go away. You never actually asked me anything about it. You never asked, why did you block me, or will you unblock me? I mean, clearly we still could talk, and I'm like not here fighting with you. So my point is,
no, I have no interest in fighting.
Sure, but that's my point, where you just assumed and you didn't actually like communicate with me at all.
I'm not sure what you mean. You said my comments were innocuous, basically dumb, right? And then
and I didn't agree with a single thing you were writing. So rather than want to read more when I asked you to untag me,
I don't think that seems especially, like that doesn't speak to the values that you're talking about yourself.
No, but you're leaving out the part where I asked you to untag me from the replies, and you kept replying to other people. So
no. You said can you? Well, when you asked to be untagged, you said this is innocuous. Like, you asked with insults whether about being untagged, for example.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I think if you are to ask to be untagged, I would have untagged you without insults.
Okay, but regardless, the end result was blocked, and now you've assumed that there was no way. Like this is what I'm saying. Where we fight in this war where I'm unreasonable. I'm not unreasonable. Like, I'm not even fighting you about this right now. Like, and I wish
you're not unreasonable.
I see everyone in chat
disagree,
turn this into like a
insult
drama
people
show,
and then block them, and then that's not unreasonable. If that's not unreasonable behavior, then we're in agreement that you're not unreasonable. And I just wanted to bring this up right now because Dan just made the statement about he's very careful.
I can't keep track of everyone that Rifkin has blocked. All right, I like having Rifkin on the show. I like him.
But I think that's a really disingenuous thing to bring up, because while it's true and it happened, it's been brought up in a sandbaggy way. And so in this instance, like now, like again, not fighting, don't want to make it look like we're fighting. But my point is, you've created all these assumptions that have turned this into a hostile situation where it's just nothing. It's literally nothing.
Is it literally nothing? I mean, I've just described the situation as it is, and you've agreed that that's what happened. So if it's nothing, it's nothing. I'm just saying, like, if you're saying you're a very reasonable person, I'm saying, well, if you consider this reasonable, then you are. If you consider it unreasonable, then maybe you're, misrepresenting yourself. That's all I'm saying.
So which part of this is the part that you're saying that you agree with me reasonable? Because it sounds, I'm misunderstanding this entirely, obviously.
Okay. So if there's a conversation ongoing on Twitter, I will assume, first of all, that, if I'm commenting on Twitter, because it's a public place, that people will want me to tag them, right? Now, if you don't want to be a part of the conversation, I'm saying you can say untag me, or I'm not interested in this conversation. And that's what would have happened. But instead, you said untag me, and you added adjectives to, like fucking saying innocuous, stupid, dumb equivalents. And then I replied, and I don't remember what I replied. I don't think it was inflammatory, but maybe it was. And then it was.
What is this fucking scene? Sorry.
Right. So I'm saying, like, I think that this process, most people would view as unreasonable because you're not willing to engage in a reasonable process with the other person, right?
I guess I just look at it as simple as I asked you to stop pinging my alerts. You didn't, so I blocked it so I wouldn't get the alerts that I didn't want, that I asked you not to give. So I see that as...
I don't think I didn't. No, when you said stop, I would have stopped right away.
Okay, this is getting so derailed because my point is, like, if at any point after this, whether you agreed or disagreed, it doesn't matter, you would have been like, yo, bro, why'd you block me? I would have been like, oh, because I didn't read your comments. I guess now I don't care, so I'll unblock you. I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying you should, but my point still goes to that point where you just assumed all these things and bringing it up like this.
I
makes
only
me
assumed
look
what happened. I've
unreasonable.
assumed nothing outside of what happened. I'm just saying I said exactly what happened. You agreed with it. There's no assumptions here whatsoever. The only assumption I'm making is if you think that this is a reasonable way to behave, then I agree with you that you are reasonable. If you think it, or if other people think it is unreasonable, then maybe you're not as reasonable as you
This
think.
conversation is exactly, just for everyone watching, the conversation I didn't want to read 20 times over. And this is why I closed the conversation.
This is like YouTube battling semantics right now. We got to stop.
And I don't
We
care
gotta
for the
put back to
contrarian argument because it's not important at all. Like, it adds nothing to this.
That was
I don't know
pretty
why I got brought
enjoyable.
up.
I mean,
I love that Gemini has gotten his popcorn, quite literally.
What was the original? How did we get there?
I couldn't even remember to care.
We
That's
got there
why
because I said I invite people on the show that can get along and have a So
That's
I'm
true.
sorry, this is all my fault. Okay.
well, that and claims of I'm always.
So we're gonna
reasonable.
take a hard U-turn here for a moment.
Go for it.
Emily, I know you have a lot prepared for this. Is there anything that we haven't touched upon that you wanted to bring up?
I don't think so. I think I got the main things that I wanted, other than the fact that they kind of to go hard back onto the whole inconsistency stuff. When they made that original State of the Sub thing like 8 months ago, Dager was the guy that made that one, and I just found it very funny that they kind of made a hard stance on like the boomer terminology of what a meme is, basically a meme meaning to be an image macro. And like those are what were specifically not allowed. But then web comics is what he termed them to be, which are just like multi-frame memes basically with stuff overlaid onto them. Those are allowed, and he linked one of those as an example of what is allowed. Then like 4 months later, when I like made that like conversation with the mods or whatever about like why is this stuff, you said that you're unrelaxing the rules, so should you make a statement about that? And they said no. Then this was where the confusion was at, because now those web comics are not allowed anymore, which is what originally was being cited as what is allowed. And so now they've changed their stance, at least it seems like. And when you go into the new post that was just posted, there's zero mention of this web comic. It has now been replaced with common meme template or meme format. So that was the last inconsistency thing that I didn't mention that I wanted to.
Okay. So right now, I mean, they released the new rules for the subreddit and try to make it very clear what was good, what was bad, and what was in between and discretionary. And the thing is, it feels like overall the community, from basically, I think every person's point of view that I've read on the threads, or very close to every person's point of view, it's been let upvotes just do what they do and decide. Do you guys think that they should reverse this whole decision? Is everyone kind of on that page?
Yes.
Yeah, that's generally speaking, that's where I'd like to see things go, that direction for sure.
And is this based off of like the fact that things do go to the front page that are like our esports content? Because again, I just keep thinking about the Overwatch situation, and I don't want there to be a second subreddit. I've seen a lot of people talking about that, and the scene can't support two subreddits.
Nobody wants that.
We're a tiny fucking Reddit compared to Overwatch.
Yeah, that's not an answer.
Anything,
I think.
Right now we should nurture and make it grow as big as we can, rather than like gating and saying like we don't trickling content in, essentially, because we don't have enough of it. So we don't have a problem if we have too much. That's certainly true.
The other thing with this is that the memes that are getting removed, or whatever posts or what's getting removed, usually are generating discussion and content themselves in the comments. So even if some of the posts themselves may be considered low effort by the mod standards, there's a lot of times where I'm going into the comments and finding more value than the post itself. So does that indicate low quality or not contributing to the sub, or
that's
what? Like, so that's another thing to be brought up.
Yeah, I got 91 comments on the meme at the top, for example. That's more comments than.
Well, that's just another part of the reason I think it's not so great to be deleting posts so, without really thinking hard about it, so candidly, Like, it's a big deal to remove any post, even if the meme is fucking stupid or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's a place for people to have a conversation. It's just,
If it
I
breaks
think
Reddit
it needs
rules,
to be
then you
taken
remove
with
it, right?
more. Yeah, it needs to be taken a little more seriously. I think taken down up there.
It's almost like a lot of the memes are just conversation starters. Like that's how I decide what to click on for comments.
Yeah.
If something has a lot of comments, I'm much more likely to click in it. Whereas if it has like one comment, I'm like, I already know what that comment says. And I don't need to go in there. You know, it says the same 3 things every time if it's one comment.
Dude, someone just posted a thread that's literally titled, this is original art mod, you can't delete, this is allowed. And it's just the Chad Virgin meme drawn awfully in paint. Let's see if this bypasses it, boys.
Dude, the Chad looks like, I don't know, the Pillsbury Doughboy.
He looks like the Michelin Man. He looks like the Michelin Man.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, Ghostbusters right there, dude.
Dude, I like this post. This is funny.
Yeah,
it is a good post. But
And now it's gonna go down.
Well, because
It's gonna get
it
removed.
exposes the problem. Well, it shouldn't get
Yes.
removed by the rules.
It shouldn't, but it's going to. 'cause
Actually,
it's
no.
still
See, this is the line of discretion, though, isn't it?
Mm.
No,
maybe
see,
if
the
anything,
title
this
of the
creates-
thread is telling the mods what to do. It's going to threaten their ego, so it's going to get removed.
Well, my post didn't get
original
removed. My
artwork.
SpongeBob
It
one
is
didn't get
original
removed.
artwork.
So
It
I was
certainly
actually
is
surprised.
I
original
was
artwork.
surprised. You know what? I feel like if that did get removed, though, dude, that was going to cause so much more
Oh,
controversy
absolutely.
than.
I had a third one lined up if it did. Don't
You
worry.
had a backup ready to go, dude. Just like Artosis.
This is not a bad meme actually.
Yeah, it's
I like
actually
this
not-
one.
Right? That's a solid
Yeah,
name.
it's actually original artwork. It actually can't be removed by their guidelines.
Yeah, exactly.
I love how we're like judging the strokes of the pen he's made with here. It's so beautiful. Eh?
But this also goes into, you know what, he put like 5 seconds of effort into this. If you had put
Yeah.
15 hours in, it wouldn't have made it any better.
Well, you don't
Yes.
know that. It could have taken 15 hours.
You can tell me if he drew that guy on the right in 15 hours. You tell me that's worth more than him drawing it the way he did now.
Hey man, maybe he thought about drawing it for 15 hours and he really had to question exactly
Oh,
which
shit,
strokes he
dude,
would
you're
make in what
right.
circle. You
Yep.
cannot value the effort that went into that thought process, okay?
Does his head have a butt, or is that like hair coming down? Guys, like
It's a circle that he had to make many times.
I see.
Yeah,
I
it's-
see.
I think it's an
Tomato
angry,
headed.
evil face. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is.
I
So
think it captures
okay, so
the chat.
we have this situation, right, where it seems most people within the community want the subreddit to be run in a certain way, which is basically leaving it alone for the most part.
And
Yeah, it
stepping in
also
when
seems like-
needed.
Yeah.
It also seems like that enough arguments have been made on either side too, right? Like not to make it just a democracy.
Right.
Like enough arguments have been made on either side, and there doesn't seem to be anything too reasonable on the side of like letting this policy stand, I think, compared to the arguments against.
Mm.
So I think that's important too, because because they might think like, no, like, well, people don't know what they want, and that's cool, but yeah, the Reddit needs more activity, not less.
The other argument seems to just be it doesn't work on other larger subreddits, so it shouldn't work. It won't work on ours, so we're not going to even bother trying it. That's the other.
Let's get
argument.
large first.
And
Let's
that
be
goes
large
back to what I
first.
said earlier too. Like the StarCraft people are so different than the other people who frequent other Reddits. It's an older generation of people. It's not kids upvoting dumb drama videos. Like just because it doesn't work elsewhere doesn't mean it won't work here. It's such a different community here.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, how
Let
does
the problems
how does-
arise before we solve them, right? Like,
Is there some way to remedy this situation? Do you guys
I think the
think?
mods just have to have a look.
Well,
into everything, man.
the mods are here. They're listening. I've
Like-
seen one of them's in chat pretty actively. So I think without question, there'll be some kind of response to this. I would hope so, or else,
Yeah.
why are they watching?
Well, so
Um,
here's the thing.
remedy
When I
is
made my
one.
original post, the big one that kind of helped kick this off, I tried to say at the start, like, this goal is not about me being banned or unbanned. I want to get the conversation going so that we can have some real talk about this. My thoughts are, as I said earlier, I think the mods genuinely have good intentions. They want to make the subreddit good, but maybe it's just not in a good way that we all agree
Yeah.
with. The fact that it got to here where we're talking about on the Pylon show, I don't need a single person to agree with me. Just the fact that this conversation happened, hopefully provides some more insight. Maybe it'll influence things, maybe it won't. But I feel like this is a good. I wish the mods were here, not so we could fight with them, but so that they could have like the discussion on their side too. But at least hearing this from someone who's not an angry guy who just got banned, hopefully has opened their eyes to some of the problems that we all, I think I speak for everybody, agree with is a larger problem at a whole, that they're overdoing it.
Yeah, I think they heard that loud and clear with the John stuff.
I don't know if they heard it loud and clear with this John stuff, because it's
Well,
the
it
TV.
clearly
well, again, they open communication.
It set them off.
They open communication to, yeah, exactly. Like there was the post did happen. That's, you know, and like a lot of people have talked about this, and yeah, I think it's most definitely, I think that we should that they have to consider essentially now. So hopefully they do.
Hopefully
any
they
other
hear
thoughts
the words of the people.
Are we missing anything? Any other thoughts on this whole situation before we go to Patreon questions?
To be honest, I think we had a long discussion considering.
Yeah,
like
I think just how much we could all talk about it's one topic basically.
Yeah,
we
it's
talked
not
about it
even
for
memes.
over
It's
for like 2
low
hours.
like it's like what their definition of low quality memes is, and like what qualifies and like what their guidelines are at the very, because it's not like they're gaining a fuckload of content, and we shouldn't make it sound like that either.
Yeah,
like it's a small amount of content that's being gated, but shouldn't be.
Yeah, but the fact that we could go so long about this issue, I think, just sort of speaks to how much of an issue it kind of is. Or else there wouldn't be so much to discuss.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we'll move forward into the Patreon questions. If any of you guys watching live right now want to drop in, check out patreon.com/ThePylonShow. And we still have the questions open, so you can throw some questions to these guys, get your voice heard if you would like. All right, let's check it out. Nahyan asks, wow, we're really going to take it down a notch. If you were a cute puppy blanket, what pattern would you have? Really bringing that down a notch. Wow.
What was it?
Blanket. What?
If you were a cute puppy blanket, what pattern would you have?
Like, does that mean
Like a blanket for puppies or a blanket made out of puppies?
Yeah, that's what I want to
Listen, Cruella DeVille, I'm thinking he's talking about one made for puppies.
Okay.
Well, is it because I was thinking like puppies would have to be a part of the pattern, perhaps? Like that would.
That's
be
what
a
I
cute
was.
Puppy blanket,
Well, I assume it's like a blanket for puppies.
So
I would be like a blanket that has like bones on it, like little cute bones.
Yeah, I think that'd be cute.
Yeah.
I'll go.
I just have all my highest upvoted memes all plastered around it.
Would freak your puppy out.
No, all the ones that got taken down, dude, because they got taken off the Reddit, so you put them on the blanket.
Yeah.
The puppy would be sad all the time.
Call your puppy banned.
All right. Well, thank you, Nahyan, for that intriguing question. Grassy Tiger asks, if you could add one unit for each race, what would you want? It could be made up or an old unit. Can we get a Cyril versus Maru matchup finally? Thanks for the content. How much would it cost for No Regret to teach me some cheese? You can check with him on that. As far as Cyril versus Maru, probably not ever. I assume that's never going to happen. But if you guys could get one unit for each race, what would it be?
My unit would be the Artosis. And what it would do is it would go around, and it's a unit that's a little bit glitchy, right? Yeah. And sometimes that's this shit that like it doesn't want to do. Like you give it a command to go forward, and sometimes it'll go back. And then whenever it glitches, which is like 60% of the time, it has a line complaining about it.
Nice.
This would be the unit that but whenever it doesn't glitch, it's super powerful. You know, straight up. Yeah.
For Terran, I've got two answers because one's like something that actually exists in the game. I would love to see Terran with a melee unit, to be honest. I just wonder how much that would shake up the matchup with the way the play styles that they are and everything. It's cool. Like all about mobile and running and kiting. As we get more to this like kind of deathball Thor mech style, I'd love to see what a melee unit looks like, whether it's bio or mech. But as far as real units that do exist in the game, I also think it'd be cool as fuck is if you're like floating 5k minerals in the late game, you could find a way to organize your buildings to assemble the Terratron.
That would be cool.
Not a bad idea. I guess I'll go. I said not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough for Terran. I think I would just like a Cyclone with the Ghost Sniper Rifle because it kind of has one already anyway. And then for Zerg, I want a Corruptor that breathes fire instead of
like that.
whatever it's breathing. Protoss, I didn't actually think of anything in time. Let's say I want a zealot. So they have these zealots with surfboards that came out. They were actually used to be in the game. Yeah, and I'm dead serious. It's called like I want to say Soul Reaver.
You can steal my
Should make
Artosis.
that
It
a
has a
skin.
surfboard.
Oh, the thing that leveled up or whatever.
Yes. So it would, yeah, like the more kills it got, the more damage it did. Something along those lines. It wrote a surfboard, so it's a surfboarding zealot. That's my answer.
That's dope.
Excellent.
Nice username is the only person here who can make that happen, by the way. I just love
Yeah,
it.
the Artosis unit might be happening. We'll see about that.
Oh shit.
Fueled by rage. The more of its allies
You can
die,
give him-
the
you can
more
give him a
damage it
surfboard.
does.
We definitely have enough lines, I think.
Yeah, you would
Yeah.
have to. Yeah,
No
he would
doubt.
have a surfboard too, and when he drops it, he gets really mad. You know.
I'll take the serious answer. I only thought of Protoss, but I actually want arbiters in the game, except for a mothership instead of mothership. Obviously, it'd have to be like rebalanced heavily to make it work, but I think that would make it far more interesting late game to have like a bunch of like mini arbiter gateway squads like roaming around the map to try and split up the death ball army or whatever. I don't know how it would work balance wise or how you would ever actually get that to work, but I've always wanted that for a while.
I feel like we've been seeing more recall, like just with the mothership. Like at BlizzCon, Trap was doing some recalls into the Broodlords.
Yeah,
and
that
stuff.
was
That was actually so sick.
That was so. That's what I'm saying. Like
It
you
was
know.
literally recalling Archons on top of the Broodlords. If
Yeah.
that
So
actually worked,
I like your arbiter idea.
Oh my goodness.
Recall's pretty sick.
I kind of wish they give the mothership some of its power back. Like the player base is so much better now. I feel like a lot of the problems that like you couldn't handle Black Hole before because everyone was so bad. Nobody really knew what the fuck to do with it. Now we got so many tools and people are just generally better. I'd love to see the mothership get some like real power back. Make it like an actual scary unit.
instead of just a minus 400, minus
Yeah, I was gonna
400.
say 400.
Instead of being a meme on Roddy's channel, exactly.
Yeah. All right.
I think
thank
the
you for
mothership is
question.
in a bad state right now only because the meta is in that state, right? Where it's like I think that motherships used to be like pretty maybe not amazing before the patch, but every pro got them basically.
I mean, people still get it when it gets to a certain point in late game. Like
you just get it, right? Like it's just
yeah, you just get it. Like especially since lurkers are so strong, like a lot of more people are making lurkers a little bit more frequently than others were before. It's nice to just have that, so you're not constantly getting poked away. You're just like forcing them to have overseers.
Yeah. I think that the mothership is weird because once it gets abducted, obviously it dies, and
Yeah,
the mothership is weird because it's an expensive unit, and it is always pretty much the first unit to die. It has to be the first unit to die because if it's not the first unit to die, you know, you can't fight the rest of the army. So people always see it as, well, the mothership just didn't do anything. Well, it didn't do anything because, you know, as soon as it dies, it's gonna look bad, and it's always gonna die first. But in between, it serves a purpose, you know.
It was fascinating to me that they made it immune to neural, but not abduct.
Yeah, that was great. That was the greatest.
Because I feel like I've seen casting all these games. I've seen the mothership die to the abduct a billion times, maybe neural once. Like
neural was the meme in 2012. Like that's how you got it. That's how you vortexed the Protoss army and then spammed infested Terrans in it, so the Archons didn't clump up. Like
I feel like the game would write on that.
Like it wasn't even that Vortex was actually broken anymore because Brood did actually figure out how to beat it.
Didn't it feel kind of like Broodlord Infest, or like not Broodlord Infest, but like Archon Toilet in the same way, but instead of an Archon Toilet, it's the whole game depends on the neural on the mothership. It felt that I don't know. I kind of got those vibes.
You didn't have to neural it either. If the vortex goes down, you just spam infested Terrans in it, and then it splits up all the Archons, so it doesn't get splash damage. Or you just do the insane concept of splitting all your Broodlords up instead of putting them in one pixel.
It does seem like though, like when the mothership is so powerful, it feels like the game.
The Broodlords come out
depend on it.
Or you mean like
at a point in the game where like on average we're seeing 50-60 banelings out of every Zerg player every round. So like.
Well, that's how people started dealing with the Vortex too, is just sending in a million banelings so their Archons will explode instantly.
Yeah, that too.
It's not particularly cost efficient though, I think.
No.
Like if it's
it's better than losing all your Broodlords, right?
Yeah, no doubt, yeah.
Thank you for the question, Grassy Tiger. Glenn Wheeler asks, watching StarCraft live is difficult from down under. There are a lot of tournaments going on, but it is hard to find VODs without being spoiled. This is especially true of Brood War. SC2 cast is good, but could have more coverage. Help? Much love to y'all. Yes, that's right. SC2links.com. absolutely. That's the site that I use to find VODs.
Their big thing was they made it like they built their platform on being like SC2Cast but spoiler free, and they've been really good to work with over the years.
They are really good.
You work with them, but yeah,
Well,
I find
fact,
everything over there. They have everything. It's crazy.
Yeah,
we don't work with them like more recently or anything, but the guy who made the website was actually one of the first casters with me on Base Rate DB when we first formed.
No way.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's that?
He had a really deep voice. He had long red hair. His name was Doom. I don't know if he's still around, but that guy was awesome.
Oh, nice. All right. Thank you, Glenn. Hope that helps. Polly asks, how would the game change if Planetaries had Thor's anti-air AA?
You would see a lot more planetaries.
Shoot up in general.
Yes.
Spend the Villo up 500 MMR each.
Finally, he would be the GSL champion.
I don't know if anyone saw
Push across the map with them probably at that point, right? Just build them right next to each other. Go right across. No problem.
Someone made a video where the Marauders can shoot up. And it just shows like 20 Marauders just mowing down like 10 battle cruisers or something. But as soon as you start to toy with those things in the game, making things shoot up that shouldn't, whatever, you just completely break it. Is the serious answer to your question? You just break the game. This is
that was always a fascinating thing for me from Brood War to StarCraft. Like Brood War, you had a lot of things that could shoot up and down, whether it was good or not, like a Wraith. But like in StarCraft 2, you have units that can really only shoot up or only shoot down, and the ones that can do both are very rare.
Yeah, the counters and stuff are way more pronounced in SE2. Like there's the armored tag and the light tag, and like there's units that very directly kill light and kill armored like that. That's all very clear and more like pronounced, like I said, for sure, I think.
Yeah, you're quite right now that I'm thinking about it. That is quite a difference between the two games.
Yeah, just like the design, like there's a lot of tags, the light armor, or even like psionic or bio. It's more like meaningful and more used more.
We have damage types and sizes in Brood War.
Yeah, there's like explosive, concussive, or something in Brood War too, and those are a thing, but like they're kind of more subtle, which was like kind of a pain in the ass in Brood War because they're not on the unit. Like you have to look it up.
I see what you're saying.
It's not even told to you. You just notice like, hey, my ghost does not hit that Dragoon very hard. Like you'll just notice it.
Whereas Warcraft 3 has the same problem.
Why do spider mines not hit probes? I don't get it.
Oh my god, that
float.
Took me a while.
We have floating units, Archons, Vultures, and Workers. All right. Thank you for the question, Polly. Sour Cream 2 asks, love TPS. Thank you. My feeling from watching StarCraft 2 is that Terran seems to lack consistent, cheapish scouting, overseers, lings, observers, hallucination. Do you think a second, cheaper scan that only shows the same as a sensor tower or a smaller area could be fair? Any other ideas / thoughts, or is it unnecessary?
The sensor tower.
Phase 1 sensor tower costs what, 75.25 or 75.75?
No, it's like 100 gas or 150 gas sensor tower.
Oh god, so much.
It's a lot of gas.
And it's not mobile. That's the worst part. It's rooted there.
Oh no, it's rooted, so you see a third of the map instead of all of it. Oh.
Wait, did he say a cheaper scan as big as sensor tower? Did I hear that right?
I think that was just saying like we
have
scans.
It shows the same as a sensor tower.
Yeah,
it works.
We just show the dots. It wouldn't reveal.
Okay, I got you.
So you could get a sense for where units are and shit like that.
Okay, I heard that wrong. I actually don't think it's the worst.
Same scan.
I don't think it's the worst idea.
It's not a bad idea. Like in StarCraft 1, Terran is heavily based off of using lots of scans to see where armies are and what your opponent's doing, because there's no other way to scout as Terran. Like you can't get right after a certain moment. Like
there's no mules either, so
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea.
Nothing's competing with it. Yeah, I agree. I don't think that's a terrible idea, but one thing to be said is like, yes, like the races are asymmetrical, right? And so when you say Terran doesn't have the luxury that Serger Protoss has in this realm, you're right, but also Terran is the race that gathers the most information just by virtue of being Terran, because they're usually the attacker, and they have very fast units. So
yeah, like I'm thinking of every Widow Mine drop you do versus Protoss, right? Like the big thing you get out of that scouting, sometimes damage, cool. But when you think about it, Terran actually has the cheapest scouting right now, though, and I'm not talking about the scan. Battlecruiser just never dies if you play it right, right? That's what I see out of every Zerg player. So
efficient scouting.
The thing is not cheap, though.
The thing is, Terran is.
Well, if it doesn't die, it didn't cost you anything.
That is
your whole tech tree.
That is some
Terran has
backwards
to-
logic
I made
right
an
there.
entire death fall.
Yeah.
It didn't die, and I did not spend any money on it.
My 200 free army, yeah, that didn't get hit.
Well, if you were a Zerg with infested Terrans last year, then that's actually true.
Oof.
All right. Thank you for the question, Sour Cream 2. Red Gunner Guy asks, what can we, ordinary StarCraft Redditors, can do to help improve and grow the sub?
Post
So
more memes so the mods have to delete
Participate.
them, and then
That's a good answer though. That's actually serious answer. Like post.
Yeah.
You don't have to post threads. Post a comment. Just
Yeah.
post. Like stop.
If there's like
share content.
some cool video you're watching, like Loco put out a good video, put it up there.
So
Yeah.
Well, you know, let someone be like, oh shit, I forgot Loco makes a new video every day. That's great, you know?
Yeah.
another thing you can do on that same note though is just by participating more. It doesn't mean posting more. You can also just share it. Like if you go
or
to
like
if I
vote.
didn't read Reddit, but
Vote on the
if
threads.
well that, but like if 4 people came and we said, hey Rifkin, do you see the thread about WCS or something or IEM? I'd be like, no, but if like by the 4th time someone asks me about it, I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. Like I'll go. And suddenly it's me who's not participating is participating because you were participating. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to post, but I mean just being involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about
Like
it.
it's the easiest way to actually make a difference, and all it takes is pushing some buttons on your keyboard. All you got to do is click the buttons, post a comment, whatever. But it can't really be understated that it makes a difference.
Share content, comment on it, and
Yeah, it matters.
people will come.
Good question, and thank you for it. Okay, Lightning Lynn asks, this is not a question really, just a comment. This is the guy who takes mushrooms to practice. You'll be seeing a lot more of me. My game tag is Duriel, and I just can't seem to shate plat because I just won't fight other Zergs, period. Peace and love to all.
Amen,
He takes
brother.
what, hallucinogen
dude.
mushrooms to practice?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I think that was a question we had in one of the previous episodes about like what would that be like to
You're
practice.
hallucinating that the
I can tell
overmind's
you.
back.
Yeah, we have the right guys now.
yeah.
We have the right guys.
You sure do. But yeah, I think that the mushrooms are probably not the best way to get at StarCraft. The best way to get at StarCraft, and even though there is hard scientific evidence that hallucinogens and like fungi in general like have a lot of properties that enhance cognitive function and like create additional like neural networks, and actually like uses parts of your brain that don't normally get used. The big problem with hallucinogens, I think, is that they have a tendency to get you to actually withdraw from your ego, whereas other drugs will have a way to strengthen your ego. And ultimately, StarCraft is a very egocentric game in the sense that you're trying to control everything. So if if you're shrooming and you're feeling like flowing and don't really want to control anything, that's probably pretty bad for StarCraft because you need to take control.
Yeah. There's no way.
Although maybe it's good for like
there's
certain
way,
players
there's way. It's
because
just
you
different.
can
Dude, you could not play with.
flow more.
Oh, you
Just-
definitely can play.
Yeah.
You might be more concerned about like playing with your opponent than against your opponent is the problem.
I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it.
Okay. Thank you for the question or the comment, Lightning Lynn. Good luck in your games. I hope you can shate plat.
You won't.
Seat Zero asks, it's a dark future, a grim reality. The sentient food has risen. Homes destroyed. Families ruined. Hot dogs eating people. Tacos are stealing children for processing. Marshmallow guns fire endlessly. An apple offers you shelter from this hellscape. Do you trust his offer? Is it racist if you don't?
Well,
Didn't
is it a
they
red
do a
delicious
Black
apple,
Mirror?
or is it a Granny Smith? Is it a Honey Crisp?
No, see,
What are
those
the-
questions, that makes it
Oh, we have
racist.
a
You can't ask that
apple.
question. It's an apple.
We have an
dude.
apple expert.
It doesn't matter whether it's a Granny Smith or a Golden Delicious.
That was
Well, I was
That's
going to
what
agree
makes
with
it
him that
racist.
Granny Smith are the
that was
best.
the joke.
But yo, didn't they actually do a Black Mirror episode? Like the yogurt or whatever, like took over, right?
What?
Do you guys not watch Black Mirror?
I love Black Mirror.
Dude, they
What
had
the
that
hell
Black
are you
Mirror episode
talking
where-
about?
It was in one of the most recent seasons. The yogurt took over, and like
Okay, I did not see that.
it was like an animated one. It wasn't one of the real people one, but the yogurt took over, and it taught the government how to eliminate debt and kind of asserted control over everything. and then
If you
decided
don't watch
better than
Black Mirror, check
people.
it out though. It's a great show.
Oh yeah, it gets a lot of neurons firing in your brain.
It's a good show.
It is. I like those episodes. But
Oh,
I
it's
did
not Black
see
Mirror.
anyone
Sorry, everyone's
about
correcting me. It's Love, Death, and Robots. My bad. But that same idea.
Oh, that
Love, Death, and
show. I
Robots is
saw one
basically
episode.
Black Mirror. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But yeah, red delicious apples are garbage. Honey crisp.
I'll agree
They're
with you
not.
on that one,
They're not
dude.
garbage,
And
but
Granny
like
Smiths are
Granny
too sour.
Smiths.
Excuse me? Red
Granny
delicious
Smiths
is
too
like
sour?
eating into some
Isn't Red
disgusting
Delicious the one
apple,
that
like, flavoring paste.
isn't that the Disney Tales? The Snow White got the Red Delicious, right?
Probably.
That must be pretty good.
That's why
They're,
she passed
they're
out.
Honey
normally a
crisp
little
is
bit
where it's at.
bigger. Honey Crisp are good. Granny Smith are amazing though. That's the real apple.
No, wait, Granny Smith are like for sour boomers like you, dude. Of course you like Granny Smith. I bet you get done playing fucking ladder, you turn your stream
Is there
off,
a
you eat like
Fiji?
4 Granny Smiths. You're like, I'm at home.
I think there's like a Fiji apple that's pretty good. I'm not huge on apples, but I know that I think Probe is really big on apples and he likes the Fiji apples.
Apples are
Nathaniel is also saying
fantastic.
Fiji or Fuji. Fuji. Is it Fuji? Fiji? Fuji.
Granny Smiths are very rare here. I want to point out. I would eat 4 of them after the
Yeah,
stream.
because
but,
they're
like,
bad and Koreans
they're
don't
only
fucking
around like
want them,
once a
dude.
year. You know? Damn.
Dude, I have to spend fucking like $13 to get a normal crate of strawberries in Korea. Like, what is wrong with Korea and fruits? It is actually mental.
It is so expensive getting fruits here, unless it's Korean fruits.
Hmm.
All right. Thank you for your question, Say Zero, even though I don't think we really got to the bottom of it. Saft Scissors asks, Katowice offline qualifications are complete. Who are the most surprising players to move on or not make the group stages? Well, I think we kind of went over it a little bit at the beginning, like Haas moving on was kind of a cool surprise. I think Lambo straight up qualifying from the winner bracket was cool. That was good to see.
You trap, right? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, I know it wasn't from the offline qualifiers, but I just want to say Zaun was a real standout player for me through these qualifiers. Like when he first beat Innovation, I was like, okay, but then he kept beating other people. I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know. He didn't have like a starring spot here in IEM, but Zaun was pretty cool to see from all the qualifiers.
Yeah.
Nice did really well.
Yes, that's who I was gonna say actually. Nice. Who did he play? I want to say Hurricane. Watch Nice versus Hurricane. Fucking sick PvP.
Oh, dude, that was a nutty.
So
series.
fucking sick.
That
And
was an
it's
absolute-
PvP. It's PvP. You're not gonna hear me say go watch the sick PvP very often. Go watch that one.
That was such
really
a
good.
crazy series.
Did
Literally
anyone watch
every
Sorta
game.
versus the Maga and what happened there? Like that. I think that's one of the bigger upsets in the tournament. Like the Maga's not bad, but he.
Wait, Demaga?
The Maga beat sort of.
Wait,
Oh,
really?
shit. That's
Really?
I
cool.
didn't catch that.
I didn't see
Yeah,
that either.
and then
That's
sort
sick.
of tweeted, I guess this is rock bottom.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Which is, I mean, like a little bit mean towards the Maga, but I mean, I
A
can see what you
little.
mean, right?
Demaga's a legend, man. That's fucked.
He is a
Come on.
legend. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Make StarCraft 3 and
Sort of,
Maga
there
will
was
smack
like,
all of these kids, there's no doubt.
Wasn't
But,
there a period
you
of
know,
time
at
where
least for a
sort
few
of was
months.
looking amazing? Like he was doing
Sort of.
some-
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is sort of does great in practice. Like he's always confident in practice. He can play against anyone in practice, but in tournaments he tends to crumble a little bit.
Mm. Yeah, that's a big result for Demaga.
Mhm. Oh, that's a good way to put it.
I like seeing
Congrats,
it
Demaga.
like
I
that
didn't
too,
realize.
because it's like all the guys who just keep at it. You kind of write them off. They can still surprise you once in a while. Like I really like and respect Demaga, but if I see him on the bracket, I'm not thinking about him being in the finals.
No.
No, not
So
anymore.
that's cool. Like for not just him,
Not for a
but
few
that
years.
we can keep getting surprises from people like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another upset was Ragnarok. I thought he was
Mm.
like coming in real hot. Like he was doing really good recently, and like towards the end of last year, like all the online cups practice.
Yeah,
He's been killing it in like the
He's been
Olympics
looking
and
so
stuff,
good.
too.
And then he gets bopped by Thermal in a
Mm.
very strange series. I thought the
didn't see
O2
that
to
one.
Deer was also. I mean, Deer's PVZ has silently been great. Like Deer's just silently been extremely good in general. But I thought Ragnarok would put up a more decent fight than just losing to 2 big frontal pushes in a row. So that was kind of unexpected in my opinion.
Has Ragnarok had a big result yet? Because he's kind of like
Mostly online.
yeah, that's the
Online
thing.
codes.
It's he's kind of like the sort of Korea. Only he's like maybe like considerably better. Because I hear people talk about like Ragnarok as he is
Also,
sometimes
in the
his
last
level of
GSL,
energy,
I feel like
He
he
got
had
top
pretty
8
sick game.
last year in
No way?
GSL.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
like last GSL, he was killing some really strong players.
yeah. That's cool. I think Major is like often talking about Ragnarok as one of the best, you know, and then
Yeah.
it's just he doesn't post results.
I saw him play at a LAN once.
He's
I
coming
want
though.
to say it was 2014 MLG Anaheim, so this was a while ago. And I didn't recognize Ragnarok off the bat, but I just saw him playing, and I just saw his hands on the keyboard, and I was like, God damn, like who is this guy? This kid is
Fast, dude.
fast. Yeah, like
He's
this
fast.
guy's going real quick, and I had no idea who it is. And then a little bit later, I'm like, oh, it's Ragnarok. I'm like, oh, I should have known better. It's this Korean pro. Like this kid was crazy, dude. So yeah, he's sick. And
I mean, but Lucero was also very fast, but he never won.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
true.
true.
I mean, speed
It's
is
just
not everything.
It's just kind of funny how like he is like I can so easily tell. Like I could like the camera was zoomed out quite a lot from where all the players were sitting. I see like Ragnarok over there, but I couldn't tell it was him. But I just saw his fucking hands on his keyboard and like the screen flickering. I was like, oh shit, I think that's Ragnarok.
It's probably him.
All right, thank you for the question, Saf Scissors. I Love Oof asks, the Wikipedia article for the Cuban Brood War scene seems very mysterious. It looks like there was a relatively big scene there, but nobody knows about it since so few Cubans had internet access. That part of SC history may be lost. Are there any efforts to preserve StarCraft's history before it's too late?
Laughing's got me more than the story does.
This cat's so brutal, man.
Huh?
That's a tough question to answer. Like if you got it saved, you got it saved, right? Like this is 2020, and you can put it on the internet, and it's there.
This is like talking about Atlantis type shit, and like is how I view it. You know, it's like, you know, the lost Cuban StarCraft community. That it's like, are we gonna save it? Or are we gonna like search for it and like evidence that it existed? And maybe the Cubans had technologies. You know, maybe there was a Cuban that could have beat Flash. It just
You never got the chance to, dude.
he just never got the chance. Yeah.
Damn.
That's how I was listening to you talk about this. It's such a weird question.
I mean, that's a much better answer, though.
Well, I like Joey though saying like, "Once it's on the internet forever." I'm like, I don't know, dude. Husky deleted his YouTube channel.
Well, yeah. Well, that's actually not necessarily true. There's so many VODs from Twitch. Like Twitch had this policy of never deleting anything, and then they changed it to like 2 weeks. And dude, there's so much shit we can't find. You still can't find, I think, the Zotac tournament where Larva puts his foot on the table, which is like that VOD needs to be saved. That's a very important video.
Was some of the best content ever.
And where is it? Like no one could find it. So things, you know, I'm not saying the internet is this ultimate preservative or whatever, but like my point was like it's there or it's not. If you can't find it, you're probably not going to, which is sad to say, but that's kind of what comes to mind.
For the most part, most things that that the community would think are worth preserving will be, right? Like
yeah.
I think we can be confident that we haven't lost the next Flash in the Cuban, you know. Like I think there's not a documentary coming about the Cuban community, how they didn't make it, but you know, they were always the best. They were just sectioned off.
And to preserve its history, I think there is a lot of stuff that's more word of mouth that it's still around. So hopefully at some point.
Like
They say Cubans didn't have internet. How did they play StarCraft then?
LAN.
Yeah, we want LAN is the big meme since StarCraft 2 came out, dude. Like,
I'm guessing
you might be talking about StarCraft. He's talking about Brood War.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. You're right. My bad. I forgot they had LAN for Brood War.
Yeah. The technology was lost, unfortunately.
Yeah, we lost it with the great Cubans, dude. They took LAN with them when they went.
Thank you for the question, and hopefully, actually, just to throw this out there, a couple of years ago, maybe it was 2-3 years ago, I was talking to Blizzard about possibly getting some sort of video series together to show a bunch of the stuff that people just don't remember that have happened across the years in StarCraft 1 and 2 that are really exciting and cool and interesting things, but it's really hard to get anyone that really cares to do that. And also a lot of the content is owned by various different companies, and it's hard to get usage of that content. So it's kind of an issue.
That's a bummer, because that would be
cool. As
cool.
well, it's kind of crazy difficult of an undertaking.
Yeah. Thank you for the question. VDEC asks, how is coronavirus impacting StarCraft today? I asked this 2 shows ago, but now it's more real in South Korea. Also, stay safe out there. So coronavirus is pretty crazy in Korea right now. Everyone's kind of panicking. all schools have been canceled in the country for a few weeks at least. Everyone's wearing masks. Like the giant TVs in the central part of the cities, like the giant TVs, are all like showing coronavirus warnings. The subway is talking about coronavirus over the speakers all the time, just kind of saying like, wash your hands, wear a mask, all this
That's
stuff.
cool.
No one's in restaurants, no one's in coffee shops, no one's in malls.
Wow.
I'm sure the economy is going to be hit.
Yeah.
Everything's fucking empty, guys. Like normally it's near shoulder to shoulder on a lot of my subway trains. Right now, everyone gets a seat easily because everyone is avoiding everything. We have no people showing up to the studio because all studios in Korea are closed for open audiences. So it's just the people that work there.
I mean, Super Tournament got delayed, right? That's the immediate impact.
Sure, yeah. And yeah, so all these things are occurring, and it's very weird. I've never seen anything quite like this, but people are being real careful. I'm getting warnings on my phone. I literally have a warning right there that popped up during the show, emergency alert.
Awesome.
And it's warning me about...
Oh shit, he's just gonna flex.
Okay, so yeah, it's telling me basically that someone with coronavirus was at a fruit stand down the street from my house. And it's basically warning me to wear a mask and shit.
Wait, I don't get it. So does this person then say, I have corona, I'm going out? Or how do they know?
No. So people get it and it incubates for a while. And then when they get it, the people are like, okay, where have you been? So we can try to get people in those that have been in contact with you, right? So he's like, okay, I went to this store. I went to this fruit stand. I went here. I went there. So there's like this giant warning system that goes out because they know where you live, there's GPS on your phone, right? So it's like, I'm down the street.
If you really hate a fruit stand, you could say like, I bought some fruits from that fruit stand.
I guess you could.
And everyone would
guarantee you there's no one at that fucking fruit stand right now because people are definitely scared about this right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy right now, and I guess we'll see if anything gets delayed more. Currently, we're still going with ASL. Everyone shows up in masks, and then the commentators all have to take them off and commentate, and then we all go home. But yeah, it's very weird here right now. Well,
incredible system.
Gemini, you're here. Have you seen anything crazy?
It's my work is canceled. I teach English, which usually doesn't happen. Like Hogwons are very greedy. They usually don't cancel unless it's something unavoidable. So it was initially just like a couple of days they cancel. Now it's like up until next Tuesday. So I'm not working until next Tuesday. And if that even gets stayed, I don't know. They might even keep pushing it if it still keeps getting worse.
Wait, can you guys fly outside of Korea, or is there any regulations on flights?
That is not banned yet, but like you guys might have been hearing about Daegu City, which is the epicenter of everything happening in Korea right now for the infection. And I heard, the thing is, there's also a lot of rumors going around. So we don't know everything that's true, but I heard that private vehicles cannot enter or leave the city. If you want to leave the city, apparently they screen you and you go on a bus.
Makes sense.
Wow. There was a post on Reddit. I wish I could remember where it was, or I'd bring it up like with a link, but it showed the comparison of the outbreak for Corona compared to SARS. Because I think everybody remembers how big of a deal SARS was. Like that wasn't something anybody didn't hear about. And it's wild to see how much bigger SARS was initially, but then like Corona eclipses it like 10 times at the like exponential spread rate or something like that. It's insane. I didn't realize how big of a deal it was until I saw that. Because to me, I knew how big of a deal SARS was. Realizing that this was spreading like way faster and way worse, I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Has there been any wins for humanity yet? Like, did anyone get cured? Or
well, so supposedly the big media part of this scare is that if you have like decent health, you're not in any danger from the coronavirus. Like a lot of the deaths are people who are like elderly or have immune systems that are compromised and stuff. So I think we're not seeing a lot of big stories about wins because there really aren't that many fatalities, but there are a lot of people infected.
Oh, that's cool. So when do you then become immune to the virus? I suppose.
I don't know. Like, I'm not an expert, man.
I don't know how that works.
How did it start? Like this? Did someone like make a bat soup or some shit like that?
Well, so yeah, I don't know how it started, but yeah, people are saying it came from things like, in China they'll eat bats and rats and as far as soups.
I heard that too. I heard that too, but it was just some shit I heard at work from some girl. I don't know if it's true.
I've seen it brought up a couple of times on Reddit, so it's either a wives' tale at this point or there's validity. I don't know which.
Yeah,
That's fucking funny.
Cats, I got a good picture to send you later.
Yeah, dude.
It just got me thinking about the whole super virus thing that's like eventually gonna get
Someone
us,
said
right?
yes,
Like, is
you
this
become
it?
immune to it after you get over it. So that's kind of cool in a way. It's like maybe it's an update, the coronavirus, right, to humanity.
Oh man.
Well, thank you for the question, VDEC. We are being careful. I've been basically just staying in my house other than work. So
You can do it.
all right. Alessandro asks, I am Katowice. Updated predictions, Cats, Rifkin et al. Was wondering, as businessy people, how do you think StarCraft is going? Ever since ESL, things seem great. Players getting new teams, more community tournaments popping up, ESL Cups every week. What are Korean fruits? Okay, so 3 questions here. Any updated predictions from you guys on Katowice? I know we already kind of talked about that, but
For me, I just want to see Cyril do well. Honestly, I want to see a legacy maintained. I want to see like this Titan in Europe that everyone's out to get. I think that'd be really cool to see is like going forward.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Raynor's cool.
Raynor. Of course. Like I would. Yeah, I feel like just the usual people I want to see win, like the big foreigners, of course. But also like some of the Koreans look extra scary, if that even makes sense, because they always look very scary. But watching some of Innovation's games or stats or like the top Koreans, I'm expecting to see them very deep as well, of course. But yeah, I'm watching those games and looking out for them too.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
I'll wait for everyone else to talk, but I have a really long point to make about the second part of the question.
Yeah, please go right ahead.
Was the first part just about IEM stuff?
Yeah, just if you have any updated IM predictions. We already know you think Trap's going to win the Super Sig.
I was disappointed.
Wait, does Gemini like Trap or something? You guys keep bringing this up. Like I have no.
I was disappointed.
Yeah, what'd you think? What'd you think about that?
He made 2 big mistakes, and it was really weird because then in the interview he was like, "I didn't think I made any big mistakes. Lambo just played really well." But like Lambo played well, which was nice. But like the first game, he had Revelation on Queens walking across the map, and he just like didn't respond to it at all, and just died. In the second game, second game he won. Third game, he just in the late game he like just mispositioned his army and let all his disruptors get abducted for nothing when he should have just won the fight cleanly. So I don't know. I'll take it as early tournament jitters, jet lag. Just didn't play well that day. Mario memes, you know. So he trashed all the other lower bracket games. So I think it'll be okay.
As far as the way it's going to affect like
the business thing,
yeah. So one common thing you'll see myself and Wardy complain about like is how difficult it is to get certain players in certain regions. North America is a really prime example of this, where a lot of the NA pros don't take the career super seriously because they don't know if it'll be around next year. Is it worth investing time into? Should I just go to school? I've seen these arguments made countless times, and they're legitimate arguments. Now that there's a 3-year plan, I think it's going to help a lot of the players that were on the fence have a better idea. Like, oh yeah, if I actually keep practicing, in 2 years from now, I have a shot. Opposed to before, you didn't even know if this year you'd have a shot, right? So I think on a very basic core level, it's going to help improve the player base, which is great for us as content creators. I think the downside that comes to that though is ESL chokes so much into a weekend. They put 3 cups back to back to back so close together that you literally couldn't cast all 3 if you wanted to, type thing, and cover all the games. So on one side, it's more if more players are involved, I will take that drawback of like too much content in a weekend, because more players from my tournaments also means more money going out, which is good too. So it helps the sustainability of StarCraft as a very blanket thing. And that's not just me, it's for Wardy and everybody else hosting content. I'm sure every content creators out there have been frustrated about not getting signups for their event at some point. So I think the 3-year plan lets these guys know that there is a future for at least 3 years. I think it's going to have more player impact. Like, I think right now you're seeing a lot of low signups for these ESL Cups and stuff. I think it's not about the prizing or the ego. It's just so close to IEM. Once IEM's done, there's nothing for another month or two. You'll probably see a lot more participation. So whether it's our stuff or ESL stuff or whatever, I think it's all just good going forward. There are some negatives, like I said, too much in one weekend. I can't host stuff on weekends now, but whatever. That's really inconsequential to the benefit that I think we get out of ESL doing stuff. And I think the 3-year plan is just such a big deal. Like having announcements 3 years. I know so many team owners. Like KJ's been someone very vocal about this for Storm for years, but like you didn't know if you could re-sign contracts with players because you didn't know if WCS was actually happening or not. And we get information in February, way past when you needed it. So again, I think just before anything else, before any prize money's paid out, just the 3-year announcement was such a big positive for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The cynical or whatever, the cynicism in me, or not, I don't know if it's cynicism, but like the skeptical part of me just wonders, you know, like, yeah, it is amazing what they're doing, and I love the 3-year thing. I agree with everything you said, but it makes me wonder, like, what happens after 3 years? You know, like I'm just curious. I obviously, it's way too early to even really wonder. We still have 3 years ahead of us, but because of that, I just wonder, you know, what was the rest? Didn't they have another question? What was the original question about ESL? Because I feel like I had something.
Well, it's just about like the business-wise how it's affecting things.
Yeah, well, yeah. Generally, I agree with everything Rifkin said, and like it's been overwhelmingly positive. Like not just kind of positive, but it's been hugely a positive thing. I also am kind of glad, in a weird way, that we kind of dodged this bullet where a lot of not SC2, but Blizzard esports are moving over to YouTube. In the sense that, like, Twitch needs competition. It's a good thing that YouTube is competing with Twitch. It is, end of story. Like I really feel that it is a good thing. But selfishly, I can't also help but feel simultaneously grateful that we're not going over to YouTube. Just from I don't even have a good reason. Just like
familiarity,
always been that way. Yeah,
it's always place you recognize it on Twitch.
And I don't want to see the viewership take a hit. Like we've.
Oh yeah, did you see the Overwatch numbers?
I've seen enough posts of Reddit, like goddamn viewership numbers, blah blah. Like people whine about that enough, man.
Dude, when Overwatch moved over, they did no promotion for it, and the viewership was like incredibly low, to the point where even the commentators were kind of like posting that they were not saying directly we're embarrassed by this, but they were, you know, kind of saying that.
Well, I mean,
how low was it?
Yeah,
I think opening, I could be wrong on these numbers, don't quote me, because this was like I saw a tweet about it. I think they said opening numbers were like 20K or something. Like it was not close to what they had on Twitch.
No, and it's not going to be.
Was the one that was quoted on Reddit for you know, he was posting the Hearthstone numbers. But
yeah, Frodan posted Hearthstone stuff too, and it looked, you know, like it looks bad on the surface, right? Like, oh no, the numbers are less than what they used to be. But of course they are.
That's expected.
You're on like you're casting a net that's
it was
not
interesting
as big.
because it really highlighted to me how much more Twitch advertises about the stuff than Blizzard itself does. Because you just have Blizzard continuing to do what they do, which is not much. And when you swap over to YouTube, of course, nobody's going to see or hear about it. Because like Twitch was really the ones who are like constantly pumping out the schedules. I got more information from Twitch in general than I did like on the WCS website. So I think what sucks is they're just all realizing Blizzard doesn't carry that as they move over. They need people to like talk about it.
Yeah.
Twitch is the platform that people go to by default. So as that changes, then YouTube can take the same roles that Twitch takes, right, in surfacing content.
Just tying it back to the ESL thing. So like that's one thing I'm grateful for that ESL kind of helped with, or that, you know, we're still on Twitch. So that's cool.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it's overall a very positive thing. I think that, like Rifkin said, we're gonna have to wait to see like to see the system unfold, because there's been so much unpacked since the system was announced, basically. So, like for example, on my end, we're planning a tournament from Korea, and we'll be announcing it pretty soon, and it's going to be a pretty cool tournament. But we have to work around everything that's happened so far, and Katowice, and like the players are unresponsive right now. Like, you know, they're busy with the World Championship. On that same front, I think that, as in hindsight, because this is not something that I had foreseen, I think that Katowice being the first thing of the year, it's made it so that there's not as much hype around it as I would have liked, because there was very little build up and I'm not saying that it was poor promotion or anything like that, just that there was nothing else leading to it, like another big event or another set of events leading to it in a way where it feels like a World Championship type.
I was actually thinking about that recently, and I think there might be some big brain play going on here, where if they come in really strong, like big numbers, and everyone's so hyped about this, and then when it goes to year 2 and it's not as big, it looks worse than if you had lowish numbers in year 1 but better numbers in year 2. And I think across the 3-year plan, I'm not saying like ESL chose not to advertise it or anything, but I'm just saying I think it works out that this not being that big of a deal now makes it better in the long run when you look at statistics and improvement. It makes it more justified for going beyond 3 years.
Maybe. I mean,
right.
it's better to grow from less, but yeah, I think they would have liked for the World Championship to be more emphasized. Yeah,
I actually, even for me, I didn't realize this was the World Championship right away.
So,
yeah. Well, this is the World Championship, isn't it?
No, next one is
not Katowice?
because
it's not this year.
Not
it's
this
gonna be
one.
next
you
one.
can't have Dark be world champion for 3 months of no StarCraft tournaments. That's not right.
Oh, I see.
But that's the thing where I'm saying like it wasn't properly conveyed, and I don't think it was on purpose or anything, but it works out because I, as someone deep rooted in StarCraft, also was under that exact same misunderstanding.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah, I was like, "Where's the belts?" We talked about this.
Good answers for a good question. There is one more part of this question. What are Korean fruits? Persimmons.
Expensive.
There's something called a Korean melon that's very popular. Watermelon is popular. There's little oranges that are like maybe they're tangerines. I'm not sure. Pumpkin. Yeah, and there's a couple others that are really weird looking that I'm not sure what they are, but they didn't taste good, so I don't ever get them. So
in Japan, I know that they do stuff like signature, like those square watermelons. Is there anything like Korean that stands out like that?
Well, there's this hilarious thing. So there's an island called Jeju that is supposed. It's like billed as like tropical island, but it's like fucking where it's next. It's right below Korea, so it's not tropical, but they're there. Anything that says Jeju on it's going to cost more for the most part. And
that's
the funniest thing, the fruit stand near my house has Jeju blueberries sometimes, where it's like, organic Jeju blueberries.
You seem
and it's like $15 this much. And I'm just like, yeah, never. Thank you very much. Never. All right. Thank you for the question. Next one, GGE-Mini19 asks, at Gemini, when are you posting the next build of the year? Thanks in advance.
Thank you so much for asking that question. Thank you so much for asking that question, GGE-Mini19. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Unfortunately, I have not been able to post one recently because I am bogged down with work. But I was actually going to do one this week because of IEM. So if you are so interested in learning how to play Protoss at the highest level from a build that is ripped directly from them, you might be interested in that.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, GGE Mini, for the question and the answer.
You're welcome, Artosis.
Pulse Reaction asks, mates, an idea for a rework of the Swarm host, like a huge baneling that explodes and deals damage, but it also spawns 2 timed life locusts. Would it work?
3 Artosises.
So you're trying to make a giant baneling? I don't know about that. That sounds too hit or miss.
Yeah, I would like to see how that looks, but my feeling is that it might not work so great. It sounds like a Swarm host that's also a baneling. The locust part seems very
the 2 units I hate the most. Fuck.
Yeah, for real. All right, interesting idea there. Thank you for the question. T Quick Brown Fox asks, besides low effort memes, what other low effort content needs to be addressed? What are your thoughts on moderation of low effort feedback threads / hate threads? Jeff was visibly unhappy with StarCraft Reddit mods when they allowed that 400 comment hate thread for a dumb 2v2 cast. Should mods ban those?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think because I remember the post. I think the post wasn't a problem to criticize and discuss. I think the problem was when you went into it. We went away from criticism and discuss and into personal attacks and just like these salacious things being said about him that were just.
I agree with that.
They need to just like moderate the hate comments basically when it comes to like
exactly.
The problem was that they eventually like locked it, but they just like kept all the comments up there anyway or whatever. I don't think lashing out at people and like they were like making assumptions about like him and like Anna like and shit like that. That's, like Like,
Yeah, that was
what are we
fucked.
doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, that people do take shit way too far, and that's and like their moderation does need to happen 100% in threads like that. But also, you know, like I think it's really a thin line to walk. Like you really do
Yes.
have to exercise
Yeah.
careful judgment there because it's
Mhm.
important for sure. I think it's important to be able to let loose. Like people, you know, people should be able to say what they want,
Yeah.
even if it's critical or whatever, or maybe not so nice. But like you can't. There's a line, dude, and people do cross it, and they need to get checked for sure. So yeah, I just it's there's no easy answer. Like people need to carefully judge the shit they're removing.
Light moderation. Yeah, just extreme examples, extreme cases. I think should be maybe removed, but I don't have a problem with.
Yeah,
Like
quote
generally
the second a
speaking,
thread goes up like that, it really should. There should be some sort of mod Discord paying at everyone all hands on deck. Like shit's about to
Yeah.
get wild for the next hour.
I agree with you.
But instead, the excuse that we've seen is like, oh well, you know, we were sleeping, so
Yeah,
you know, it
And
doesn't mean we
also,
approve
like,
it. We just let
Big
thousands of
commie
people read
slipping.
it.
but like it is kind of amazing, like you said, like that was a 400 comment thread. 400. That's a lot for our
There's a lot of fighting
StarCraft.
in it. A lot of
And
stupid fighting in it.
More recently, there was a shit with Nathan, and I've seen him bring it up a few times. Like, why the hell was there no moderation? I just got shit on ruthlessly, like without no holding back. And I think there's something to that. Like, I think, you know, I can see where he's coming from. Like, hey, that might be a little bit much. Like, I think there were multiple threads about Nate, and if you add up all the comments, it's probably like over 1,000 comments. So I think there is a line to draw for sure. But at the same time, like I think people should be able to talk about Nate.
Yeah, I think me or Nate
or talk
anyone,
about whoever.
If something is out of line, for sure, don't censor it. But like, I think you can discuss it without saying Rifkin hates everybody, so he's wrong, or in control. You know, he said this in the past, so like obviously he's wrong now. But those are like the types of comments I see all the time.
Yeah, I think
Also,
that this is basically a game of blame and praise, right? And if you want praise and if you want then blame has to exist.
Well,
so it's like moderating or like censoring blame is silly if we want to continue to praise as well. Because
I think
one only exists in light of the other.
I'm really actually disappointed. I just was checking this thread that was made, and there's a mod commenting on basically like none of the stuff we're talking about is right in their eyes, so they won't even believe that we're listening or Artosis is listening to the information he's hearing and stuff. And it's like, this guy's a mod and he's shutting down the conversation with very valid points being brought up. That's the mentality that's stuck on this.
They're already answering our.
Wait, where is this?
Valon SC wrote, I feel bad that Artosis is getting his information from this lot. Looks like he had no idea about some of this stuff and it blew his mind when they were talking about Cultures
listen,
Avoided.
man, I'm literally quoting the comments I read from the mods. I would love for them to set the record straight, but you know, if you're gonna go about it like that, you're not helping anybody.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, what thread is this in?
Part of the PylonShow discussion on the discretion zone.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little disappointed to hear that because I tried really hard to fight for the mods and bring up the points that they made on Reddit.
I don't think through this entire thing, by the way, anyone really attacked the mods other than laughing at some of the bad decisions.
I mean, we definitely don't agree with them, but I think we all also agree that like we want them around. Like we want them to do.
Right now?
Cobra Venom just linked it in Artosis's chat. But my point is like that's the thing. You shut down. You decide it's wrong when you have this many people saying that maybe it's not. And the fact that you won't open conversation, I'm just gonna say this to anybody listening, I mean just the mods. That's the communication problem I'm talking about right there. Like you're not gonna ever change the stuff that you're doing that everyone disagrees with, and no one's gonna be on your side if you don't at least consider what other people are saying.
Yeah, I mean, like I have quotes that I took from the PMs that I have with mods in my notes for today or whatever. Like I could read those out about how like the stuff is.
It's disappointing, especially so late in the show.
Different. Like, yeah, it's like if you wanted to talk about this and stuff and put it in a Reddit thread out of context, then come on the show, I guess. Like, but no one wanted to, so
just disappointing, honestly.
It's not the end, then for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. If Reddit mods want to come on and speak, that's cool. We can do another episode with that. Up to you guys. No pressure. I don't want this to turn into something where bullying people to come on the show. I'm completely respect people who don't want to come and be.
I agree with that too.
You know, on a show like this. Anyways, thank you for the question, T Quick Brown Fox. Last question. Zip asks, is creating a legal popular meme harder than winning at StarCraft? Depends on your race, bro.
Gemini's the only one qualified to talk about this, honestly.
In the last like couple months, how many StarCraft champions of tournaments have we had, and how many unremoved meme posts have we had? I think we need to crunch the numbers on this one to really figure out the real difficulty in this scene. Are we trying to train to become pro gamers, or are we trying to train to become pro shit posters? That's my question that needs to be asked.
On the latter for sure.
Right. My posting career is much more accomplished than my StarCraft career, so we're gonna go with posting.
Well, that does it. Thank you guys for answering all of those Patreon questions. Guys, you can support the Pylon Show by checking out patreon.com/ThePylonShow. Big thanks to our $100 tier, Astrofin, Field of Sins, Jerry, Wang, Maynard, and Shane. And check out ThePylonShow.com. That is where you get all of your Pylon Show needs. Big shout out to the whole Pylon Show staff. It is not just me. And yeah, check out our Matcherino, matcherino.com/ThePylonShow, and use our code PI to generate free money to help support. So simple, much easier than Rifkin's terrible code.
It's true though.
Yeah,
mine was not made to be simplistic and easy.
No, it certainly was not. We do that for people though. We're helping.
Like, think about this, everyone watching, right? If you were to ask your best friend for $1, they'd probably tell you to just off. But you can give $1 for free to the Pylon Show by using that coupon code PIE.
So true. So true. All right. So that about does it, guys. Why don't you tell everyone where they can follow you, see more of your stuff, and what you want them to know, and all that stuff. Cats, how about you?
Oh, you can follow me at RootCats on Twitter, and I stream most days. I've been playing a variety of games. I play StarCraft. I played StarCraft like yesterday, but I don't play every day. At this point, I will be, however, with no regret, from the Korean Root House. We'll be hosting a tournament soon, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be a great tournament. It's going to be live, and it's going to be hype as fuck. So we are really excited about that, and we'll be talking about that soon. In other, as far as my stream is concerned, that's twitch.tv/rootcats, and I am mostly just like talking and shit like that. I really enjoy what I would call spiritual discussion as of late. It's something that I've really been getting into a little bit more, because I think it's something that we're lacking quite a bit. So
cool. All right, and Gemini, how about you?
I know you can follow me on Twitter, GGEmini19. You can see all the awesome memes that I post that get removed from our StarCraft. So if you want to know what those are, you can see them there. On Twitch, Gemini SC2. I'll stream after this as well if you're interested in basically the budget Artosis of someone getting extremely mad at dumb losses and their own inability to live up to their own self-made standards of playing the video game StarCraft. Then please go ahead and check it out if you're so interested. Korean Protoss play, trying to get GM back on Korea after I tanked a shit ton of them more and lost it. So come check that out if you're interested. Like I said, build of the week. It's a guide series that I do on an in-depth build order write-ups. I've been lax on them just because of work and stuff like that, but I'm going to try to get something out from Katowice. So look on All Things Protoss subreddit if you're interested in that. Also, shout out to my team Cosmos Esports. Wow, I'm the coach over there. So new team that's kind of trying to get more into the SC2 scene with like the ESL Pro Tour getting announced and all that good stuff. So we got some amateur up and coming players from like Europe and whatnot signing on. So give them a shout out at Cosmos Esports as well.
Who did you last coach?
What's up?
Who did you last coach?
Who did I last coach on the team or like in general? Because I do like personal coaching too.
Team.
Huh?
On the team.
Hydra. He's like a Protoss EU GM or whatever. Been helping him out with a couple things that he's having problems with.
That's awesome.
All right. Is that it?
Yep, I guess that's it. Thanks for having me on.
Very cool. Oh, no. Happy to have you. Nice username. How about you? What do you have coming up?
Okay, so I'm a little all over the place. I haven't died because it has been a while since I actually put something out, but I have 2 incoming transmission episodes which are going to get posted this weekend. I am still working on a micro tournament for SC2 that's up to date, with the latest and greatest scenarios. I'm getting some help from better players than myself to balance that. Let's see. I am doing some Brood War stuff, like nothing anyone would be too happy about, just like custom maps, like not exciting stuff, but I do love my Brood War UMS, and I am playing with some of my old school friends from like when I was 11 or 12 years old. And one of the guys that comes around is Heinerman, who's like a Brood War AI legend. So it's cool. I'm really happy to shout out to the staredit.net people, that Discord, all the people who jump in on map night. And lastly, I'm watching a lot of Artosis' stream, and my pile of clips is getting rather large. And I don't want to promise anything, but
it's about time, mate.
Yeah, I feel like we're over. We could be due for maybe
some
something
legal content, Joey.
Yeah, but besides that,
whenever I get really excited about Artos' stream is when he's in a really good mindset and he posts.
That's when
then you know the fall is gonna be the greatest.
When the stream title is like "Learning from every loss."
Yeah.
Guys, we're starting out good. He has like the whole pre-match speech and everything. Guys, we're coming in good. We're gonna not lose to any Protoss today. Yeah. Let's get into it, guys. We're so happy.
It's honestly very good content.
Skates out in the middle of the map. Fuck this guy's gambling piece of.
So yeah, I didn't die is all I want to say. The last thing I want to say is thanks for bringing me on, because I kind of came in the Discord like, hey, I have a lot to say here, and I feel like I kind of pushed my way in a little bit more. So just thanks for having me. I hope that I contributed in some kind of meaningful way, because I didn't get banned. I'm not a mod. I am sort of an outlier in this show today. So yeah, that's all. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
kind words. I look forward to whatever you're going to do with that pile of clips. Rifkin, how about you? What do you have coming up?
Well, I've actually been enjoying watching Wardy take over, as I've been sick these last few months, but I'm feeling a lot better now. And oh fuck, is that the phone? I'm sorry. One sec.
Wow, he's so popular.
I've been waiting on this call for 2 hours. I'm sorry.
All right, so
what about you?
while Rifkin
Sell out.
talks, I will. Now we can really talk shit on him. Oh wait, he still has his headphones on. Well, as for me, guys, just thank you to everyone coming on. And go ahead, Rifkin.
So sorry. Anyways, long story short, I'm planning to hit March really hard. I've got that big 2v2 tournament. It's already got like $800 in the prize pool. We got a regular events kicking back up, plus all the ESL coverage. You can follow me on Twitter for my own shit postings I'm using. It's probably the one Cobra has here, but if you want just StarCraft stuff, it's at Base Trade TV. I'm sorry about that.
Hey, can I ask Daniel, what happened to the mustache that we were working on? It's still there, but it I feel like you've trimmed it, right?
I did shave it off. I don't know. Maybe I had work or something. I can't quite recall. But
are you? I mean,
my wife is really not a fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't. But she hasn't seen have you shown her the picture of what it will look like?
Oh, the Merc Photoshop. So
yeah,
she's seen the pictures.
My God.
Yeah. She hasn't. She didn't think it was cool. She didn't like that.
Not as much. No. She likes to be baby faced. Yeah. It's a hard balance to maintain. I tell you.
Yeah.
We'll do it one day.
I mean, this is the opportunity with the down season and like Corona going around. I think if everyone has to stay at home like that, just if you're ever gonna see your mustache while you're at your prime,
this is the time to experiment.
Well, I'm at my prime. I haven't hit my prime yet. I'm always getting better. All right.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna keep getting better until
your latter sessions disagree with that.
End. Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, guys. Thank you for coming on. This was a very enjoyable episode talking with you all. Thank you everyone for watching. As far as I go, just check out my stream. I've been streaming a hell of a lot. It's becoming a big part of what I do. So that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.